Yeah, time is 6:45. The course walk is closed. Please clear the ring. Time is 6:45. Course walk is closed. Please clear the ring.
Well,
we're 15 minutes away from our 7 o'clock
getting
start.
set for
with
the
tonight's three-star
big Saturday night. One behind us already with the Battle of the Sexes last week.
6:45 is the time.
Course walk is closed. $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix tonight as we start to ramp things up. 3-star week here, and with plenty of money and plenty of good combinations making their way into the Grand Prix here tonight. 45 in all, which we'll take you through in a few moments' time. Exactly who's going to be competing. Already the buzz around WEF 2025 is well underway. A little bit of a damper, cooler day today, but things brightening up for the evening, and looking forward to some very hot competition out there as well. So welcome to Wellington International for 2025. Our first night into the commentary box for the Saturday Night Lights as well in full flow, and thanks to Southern Arches, our presenting sponsor here of the Grand Prix as well. Dodd Technologies, our partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983, and you can discover and elevate the entertainment that they provide. And of course, thanks to USEF as well, presenting sponsor of our live stream, in part with support of the US Equestrian Federation and the USEF network as well, where you can follow all the action for the competition here. Big night, as I say, coming up. It is a precursor to a massive season. And here is in the lineup for this $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix. Ireland's Kevin Gallagher going first. Margie Goldstein, and of course, plenty of experience, goes early on. Nick Delano goes within the first 10, as does Irish international Keenan O'Connor and Bentley du Souris. Charlotte Jacobs want to pick out in 11th place, to be followed by Lily Keenan. Jad Dana, who's so successful, of course, winner previously in the Grand Prix on the Premier Week as well. Lucy Delorier, Juvaro 9, Andrew Wells, Idle H&H. McLean Ward comes out with a horse that has been really developing nicely with High Star Hero that we saw quite a lot of last year. We'll talk about more of that later. Caitlin Boyle making her first Saturday night appearance. Lucas Porter, Viga Keisha, Mark Blumen and Conor PS could be one to really make a difference here as well. They can be very fast, big winners. Catherine Driscoll returns to the saddle. Great to see her back in action, as well as tonight's part of tonight's competition. Nal Nassar of Egypt, ESI Ali, Jenny Rankin and Ibiza for Ireland. Rennie Dittmer on a ride for the last few months. Jumpy van der Hermitage for the Hampton Classic Grand Prix winner. Jimmy Tirano is in there again with Chewbacca HCC. And our final few, because we're going in reverse order of how the WEF class went earlier on this week as well. We'll talk about that later. Roberto Terran goes last with Iron Maiden, as he was winner of that class as well. Here are our 5 to watch for the night, and they include Lily Keenan of the USA, Louvre 5. Charlotte Jacobs, great consistency throughout the summer as well in Traverse City. McLean Ward, of course, you're never going to look too far past the world number 6. Roberto Terran, winner of 2 classes already this week, going for the triple. And Nicky Gallagher, top 3 in the WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week as well, makes his first Saturday night appearance here. But he's going strong, and form is very much part of how you feature on these big nights as well. So thanks to Prestige, we bring through that to our 5 to watch. But I would say, looking at the order tonight, it could go pretty well in any direction, but those are 5 that we've picked out of the pack, showing their great form so far this season, and a few maybe to watch later on to our big 5 stars as well. So our riders to watch there, but as I say, a field of 45 in total, covering the nations as we do here in Wellington. Is very much an international competition. As we know, the competition here in Wellington is usually pretty hard too. So notching up those wins, looking at McLean Ward there, 283 international wins. WEF Grand Prix wins, 15 of his. Lily Keenan's put several of those on the board now as well. And how will the rest of them start to join that group? McLean, one of the most winning most riders here in Wellington too. But as I say, there's plenty to look beyond that through our lineup as well. Keenan O'Connor with Bentley du Souris, looking forward to seeing that combination out in action as well. The former Spanish ridden horse. And then, as I say, coming down to our final few, Jimmy Tirano, Nicky Gallagher, Shane Sweetnam and Roberto Terran, who were the final 4, top 4 in the WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week as well. So let's take a look at what we've seen so far this week too. It's been certainly a lovely way to start into the year as well. A little bit cooler, but for Florida, we're definitely not complaining about that compared to everywhere else right now. We've been out in the sunshine. As you can see from some of the faces you'll recognise in here, the big names have been out strong as well. Dara Kenny, of course, arriving back hot on the heels of that London World Cup win as well. And in our WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week, it was a different format this time. It was what was called a winning round. So the top 12 went forward to round 2, just the 12, and they did battle. So it just made it a little bit different. And being a winning round, they went in reverse order of their time. So the best going last. And very much in the mix there, the likes of Margie Engel earlier on this week. But Roberto Turan put his first win of the week together with Iron Maiden, which is a super looking 10-year-old that we're really looking forward to seeing this season by Clary Mode. There he is, our winning rider in that WEF Challenge Cup. Note that one in your books for the big classes coming up this season as well. He's had a beam on his face because then he went and won the class on Friday as well to add to the list. I'm delighted to say each night as well on a Saturday night I'm going to bring you a new guest, and I'd like to say returning here to the commentary box is Sydney Shulman Desiderio. Sid, great to see you back here. Rider, trainer and accomplishing everything at the moment. How are you feeling about this week?
I'm really excited to be here and commentate with Steven, and we're looking forward to a wonderful class of some really nice horse and rider combinations, and really looking forward to seeing what they can do tonight.
Season is underway. You've been getting around most of the rings. Is the buzz there again?
It is. It started last week. You could see on everyone's expression and demeanor that it's WEF, and you immediately can feel the excitement and the energy in the air. Even the courses, the jumps, the facility looks great. The jumps are beautiful, and they're here to play. So it's definitely starting.
Absolutely, looking forward to that. Roberto Duran goes last in this with Iron Maiden. You and I have been talking about that horse a little bit earlier on. It's one that I actually saw as a young horse in some of the big classes in Europe as well. What's your feeling on that horse?
It's so conventional. It jumps everything so easy. It looks like it jumps the exact same, whether the jump is small or massive. It's a very exciting horse for the future for him, and I absolutely love watching it compete.
Now, you and I have been looking at the order here, and as we say, we've got some experienced combinations, some horses that are coming back after a little bit of a late winter break or early winter break coming out of 2024. There's also a few first-timers into the Saturday Night Lights as well, aren't there? So there's going to be a little bit of mix of jitters in there.
Yes, for sure. I remember my first Saturday night class in Wellington. Nothing compares to it. Your energy and excitement and nerves all come together as one. It's very different than jumping anywhere else under the lights, just with the atmosphere and the size of the jumps that they build here. So it's going to be really exciting, and I wish best of luck to everybody first time or everybody in their experience.
Or the 300th time, as some are in there, plus from that point of view. Does it get easier?
No.
No? Okay, good. Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So let's take a look at the course designed by Nick Granite, our course designer here this week in Wellington. And it's brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Thank you to them once again. And here we go with one of our graphics to take you around the track of what to expect around this Southern Arches Grand Prix course. One over near the in-gate, 147 is the vertical to start us off here. Then we go across the centre, right across there on a 5-stride distance. The rocks, to use the expression to describe the fence, with an oxer there coming in on 5 strides down to the vertical at fence 3 at 1.55 meters. Then we go along the side of the arena to the table bank side to 4 and 5 on a 4-stride distance here to the horseshoes as the oxer on the way out there, 1.50 meters, 1.60 meters. And again here on this turn, we'll probably talk about that a little bit in there, because that will affect the time allowed a little bit in here as well. It's one of the few turns on there you might be able to make up a little bit of ground. Coming into the triple combination at 6A, B, C, 1.53 meters on the way out of here as well. And then down to the MS fence at 1.52, 1.65 in those familiar orange colours. like them or otherwise. And so round to the Southern Arches, our sponsors fence, the triple bar then at fence 8, 1m90, so not totally overfacing there. It is a good one to take us down into what is going to be a really related line down here. 6 strides down to 9A and B on a 1 stride distance in the double there, and then a little plank sitting there on top of 10, which is just so generous of them at 1m55. Turning back to 11 now, it's a long way through the final 3 fences here. Equine Tack and Nutrition's fence 11 in black. And again, we'll talk about more of that as we go through. 12, the Blue Liverpool, and then 13, the Wellington International fence coming up right down here. But as you can see from that graphic there, it is a long way around that track. 78 seconds the time allowed, and we're getting set for the national anthem here as well. And to welcome Shane Morris from here in Wellington. 10 years old. 5th grader at Binks Forest Elementary, and has been chosen to sing the national anthem at a number of different events, including NFL's Miami Dolphins and the NBA's Miami Heat, because she was also winner of America's Equestrian Got Talent competition as well. So that is coming up, and set to welcome them. And we'll be taking you through the wonderful night here. We'll have a break after 23 riders. But delighted to have you back in the room again here at Wellington International for a big night of competition here as well. Just as you can see through there, they're going through the warm-up stages. Got a new set of lights over the arena this year as well. It's like daylight out there now as well. And that also is part of the improvements here to Wellington International. Exciting times ahead for the future here as well. So looking forward to much more of that news coming through over the coming months as we come under the new ownership here of this wonderful venue. So just moments away from, the national anthem to start us off into the evening here as well, and of course part of the festivities and a reminder of what's coming up over the next few weeks with the National Grand Prix next Saturday night. We've also got the Grand Prix going out on the field because we head out to the Derby field next week. Remember that as well. So there'll be a Sunday Grand Prix in the mix there too, and then start build through to week then 3 with the NetJets Grand Prix onwards from there. So lots to come up amongst that group as well. And just final discussions down at the entrance. Sydney, just before we jump into the national anthem, give me a very quick summary. In fact, we're going to head to the national anthem now. Okay. We're coming into that. So we're delighted to welcome out onto the stage to sing tonight is Shane Morris, as I mentioned, from Wellington. Just 10 years of age and local here. Here we go. Good luck.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
A great way to start, Shane Morris there, as our opening national anthem singer. Sid Shulman Desiderio next to me as well. Little bit of the mum coming out of you there, watching that, going, oh,
She was
great.
amazing.
She was fantastic, wasn't she?
Yeah, that to me would be more nerve-wracking than jumping this class.
Okay, let's talk about this class, Sydney, from that point of view. What's your take on the course and what Nick Granite's laid out tonight?
Nick Granite is a wonderful course designer. I think he sets beautiful courses to ride. I've jumped a bunch of his classes, some 4- and 5-star Grand Prix here in Wellington that he's built. He does a great job. He really reads the room of the riders and the horses, knowing this is the first Saturday night light Grand Prix of the season to kind of set the riders and the horses up for the rest of the season while also challenging them. When I spoke to him earlier, he told me that it's a 3-star Grand Prix, so in technical aspect, they have to have 4 155 verticals for some qualifications. So there are definitely some tall verticals, the Liverpool, the Wolfer jump, number 4,
155.
the plank out of the other 4 stride after the double combination, the black skinny, and as well as jump 3, the white vertical, I believe as well. So it definitely will test the scope and the ability of the horses. But luckily here we have amazing animals and riders that are jumping this class, so it should be exciting.
Should be exciting. First up is Kevin Gallagher of Ireland and the Marigot Bay Farms. Borina, the Danish-bred mare, now 11 years of age, because we're just touching into 2025. Happy birthday to all the horses in the last few weeks. Of course, January 1st. Placed in Tryon and Traverse City last season as well. Kicked off in their FEI campaigns last year as well. Again, one of the combinations that come in with a little less experience under the lights. But there's also been a few shows here prior to WEF where people have had that chance to get into some of those national Grand Prix and just get a little bit more acclimatized to it.
Yeah, this horse actually they bought last year at the end of season, Marigot Farm, for Kevin, and you know, it had only jumped its first meter 40, I believe, in June last year, so it is new at this level, but it did jump some 3-star Grand Prix this summer very well. And the pre-circuit Grand Prix here, pre-season, were wonderful under the lights. So it did jump those, and it's a fantastic jumper. It's super athletic.
That line down there, how did you walk it?
It's a very delicate line. You can't override the Liverpool, and it kind of pressures you into wanting to get there a little bit too deep out of that 4-stride line because it's a big oxer into the screen. I think maybe he just overdid it a bit off the ground, just trying to give the horse a secure ride, not knowing that it has not jumped this level under the lights.
Triple bar here down into what should probably be an influential line down here, isn't it? This little white plank sitting on top there, and it's going to be sitting down there a lot as well, I would think.
Yeah, a little bit kind of the similar ride as he had out of that first 4-stride line, where he just maybe didn't get the horse back soon enough into the end of the ring.
Just got that one fence to go, and this is again, you almost feel that you're finished over at the blue fence, but in front of the International Club, but you go beyond that. 75.18, time allowed of 78 seconds, so inside that, 8 faults there for Kevin Gallagher and Borina to start us off. Sid, your thoughts?
He actually chose to do the 2 leave-out numbers to the Hermes Oxer and the Black Oxer, the Wellington jump coming towards home, keeping that time allowed in mind, so that's why he was comfortably under it. I think that for this size of horse with the stride that it has, it can cover so much ground. So he was able to walk those leave-out numbers. They'll be very horse-specific. I think some smaller horses will opt to do the 10 in those lines, but I think the 9 with a big mover, thinking about the time allowed, will be necessary.
Yeah, and we should note that time allowed. 75.18 from him, time allowed is 78, so he'd sort of got 2 seconds and 3/4.
He needed to do those 2 numbers in order to be under the time allowed. But the horse jumped a nice round. I think that's a good experience to jump around peacefully at this height and level early in the season.
Spain's Francisco Goaga Molet and the Sigma Stables PST Dumuse, the Belgian-bred mare by Vigo de Sway, now the grand old age of 10, having turned that on January 1st as well. Francisco going so well with this horse last season as well. Finished second in the Grand Prix Lexington back in June. Comes from a family that are absolutely steeped in the horse world. Father competed, grandfather right the way through to Olympic Games, one of the very best in his era as well. But really the whole family very much involved. Have you had a chance to see this horse much yet at all?
I've watched it a bit. He jumped some the 5-star in Tryon this fall. It's super athletic. I think Paco is Francisco's
Yes.
nickname. He rides amazing. He rides super soft, so nice. Horses like him. This is his first Saturday Night Light Grand Prix ever himself. So I know he's excited and nervous, but you know, we work alongside him. I do a lot of training of juniors and amateurs with my mom, and he works for Ashland Farms, so we're at the similar rings all the time, and we spoke today about leading up to this class. He was very excited to get in and to be able to have the opportunity to jump this Grand Prix, and he's doing a very good job.
He's doing it. He really got his eye on that plank there, didn't he?
Yeah, he set that up perfectly. He really got the horse rocked back on his hind end to use himself and didn't rush him. He rode this line super. The horse just peeked down a little bit at that Liverpool.
Time-wise looking good.
Yep, come on. That was amazing.
Looking very good.
Great
Excellent.
for him. That's awesome.
Very nicely done, Francisco Goaga Molet and PST de Muse for Spain. We'll go with our first clear in the lineup. Not much to really criticise or
No.
put together from that, because that was really nicely done.
Yeah, the horse gave an amazing effort over some of these jumps. He jumped this fantastic, and Paco rode beautifully. That was really a pleasure to watch.
The balance of excitement coming in, like you said, you've come in here for the first time. This lady's been in plenty of times and won right the way through to the Rolex Grand Prix here. Margie Goldstein Engel with the Gladewinds Farms, Jack of Hearts now, well-established pairing now. 30-year-old Danish bred gelding by Heartbeat, went superbly in her summer home, if you like, in Traverse City these days. Great to see Margie in action here. But I was about to say about like Francisco coming in the first time, the butterflies start going, you get a little bit nervous, and your sort of excitement also becomes nerves of how you've got to balance that off.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it gets easier. It's always exciting to jump. That's why I think that we all do this. It's fun, it's exciting, and everyone at this level of the sport is obviously super competitive. So I don't think that excitement and exciting nerves ever go away.
Yeah.
Margie looks like she's ready to, she's a weapon every time she comes out, and she's done this thousands of times. She also, I speak to her often, tells me that she's always so excited to come and jump.
Yeah.
So she has that fire in her still, and she is an amazing athlete and competitor, and you can never count her out. She is a weapon.
That's three to see through the triple combination. Comes through there well, and then you just... How do you feel about coming down there? I mean, she's putting a good bit of steam on down to that MS fence.
She ended up doing the 9, which was the one less number, which
Yeah.
is a little bit tricky because the triple combination is oxer, vertical, vertical. So you're risking having C of that combination down, thinking about doing the one less number to the Hermes oxer. And unfortunately, the horse just dragged her under it a little bit out of that 4, that plank, so she had that down.
One from home. Still a nice round put together by Margie, just on the 4. Time is going to be okay. Going to be really interested to see for the time allowed, because she's rounding, 71, 72, round about there, 72, 73. So time-wise, okay. They shouldn't be under too much pressure there.
No, she's a fast rider. She covers ground. She did both the leave-out numbers. You can tell there her RPMs are high, and she's cruising around thinking about the time allowed. You know, in a class like this, you don't know until they get into the meat of it if there's going to be 8 clear. You can still get a good piece of it, having been a fast 4 faulter, or if there's going to be more than 12 clear. So she was smart to keep going on and continue thinking about keeping her in the mix.
1 and 2 brothers competing in this class. His brother Lucas goes a little later. Wilton Porter first up of them for the Sleepy P Ranch, their home base. And this is Sternmarker 3, the Hanoverian gelding by Staccato, now 11 years of age. One actually here in November. Previously he was on the team for the US a few seasons ago, here in Wellington as well, with a base in Europe too. Now, what do you think they've gleaned from watching those first few? I mean, time looks enough, you can't hang around.
I think if you're just crisp about the time allowed and you stick to your numbers and your plan, the horses look like they're jumping beautifully and super comfortably. You know, a lot of these horses, unless they're young, this is like home to them, this ring, to be honest with you. By the time they jump at this level, they've been in this ring 100 times. So horses end up jumping big jumps in here better than anywhere else. This is a younger, he's had this horse since it's been a young horse. He's brought this one along. So I don't know how much experience it's had here under the lights with him, but Looks like he's going to just save it.
And I think just going to say good night at that point. We'll see. The choice might roll back. One clear already for Spain with Francisco Molet, but looking very much like they're heading for home for Wilton Porter. So brother Lucas comes up a little later. Ashley Vogel of the US now, and this is going to be the VoQuest team's Namaste, the Belgian gelding by Elvis Terput for Ashley. Went very well in Monterrey back a few weeks ago, in Mexico as well for the 23-year-old. Completing studies now, and is really very much in the mix. Watched her at the tail end of last year, and almost gone up another gear again, hasn't she?
Yeah, it's been exciting to watch her career. We're similar age, and she's really come into her own, like you said, the last 2 years. She rides with Shane Sweetnam, who's done an unbelievable job mounting her with amazing horses and really teaching her the ropes from his experience, and it's really exciting to watch. I'm always been a huge fan of this horse from the time Shane got it into the States, and now Ashley rides it, and it is so awesome. It's so athletic and sporty and really suits her well, so this is exciting to watch.
And they do move horses around within the Sweet Oak VoQuest team, don't they, which is smart.
It is, and it's interesting, and even though Ashley and Shane's style are so different, the horses jump beautifully for both.
Yeah.
So it really just is a testament to the quality of the animal.
Triple combination here. I mean, it's ridden well so far.
Yeah, that was good. A little bit,
they've
the
led the
horse
last
started to lean a little bit to the inside. Maybe she thought about the Hermes Oxer too soon. Just looked like she looked left as well as the horse coming out of that, and he just towed it up front. The horse's expression is so nice. You can see it looks so excited and happy to do its job. Every jump, it looks like it's just in it with her. It's a pleasure to watch.
And jump the plank, fantastic.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Coming home on the 4 is, as you say, from Margie's point of view, she put a little bit of foot to the gas here, just to sort of, as you say, maybe get a piece of the action in there. She might be a little bit steadier, we will see. 76.32 there for Ashley Vogel and Noah Stay, just finishing on the 4 faults. Yeah, Margie down at 72.73. Overall, you wouldn't be dissatisfied with that round, though, would you?
No, she's a very competitive person, so she may be a little bit annoyed at herself there, clearing C of the triple, coming towards home, knowing that it's a careful jump. She maybe would have thought to protect it a bit more, but the horse went just a touch left, as we're going to see right now.
Yeah.
It got closer to the left corner, closer to the left corner. Yeah, she just touched it on the way up, but that was a very nice round otherwise.
Now on to Ansgar Holgers Jr., the 19-year-old for Goodine House of here in Wellington. Good Morning B is the Dutch bred gelding by El Dorado. Finished well in the Grand Prix here in November as well. They had a couple of FEI shows then as well, the 3-star and the 4-star, the traditional holiday and horses show over Thanksgiving last year as well. Finished in the top few in the Grand Prix in the Netherlands back in July too. And actually, of course, he was a Grand Prix winner here last year as well. And that was with a singular clear out of the field.
It's exciting to watch his career. He's young, he's up and coming. His horses and the support from his parents are amazing. He's really come into his own, and it's absolutely, he's a beautiful rider to watch. He's tall, but he sits so still and nice and soft and allows the horse to do their job without interfering. You can see there's never any wrestling or fighting. He stays super smooth and is very effective at the same time. He's doing a very good job right now. This is a beautiful round.
Now, interesting that little skinny's ridden well so far. We'll come back to that in a little moment. But this is coming home very, very nicely for Ansgar. Time-wise will be okay. Runs for the line there, 76.51, and gets a good cheer as well. Gives us clear round number 2. Sydney Shulman Desiderio alongside me. What did you think?
That was a almost foot perfect round. The horse started to come, maybe because the screens and VIP started to come a little bit to the right side of the last line. Got me a little bit nervous that he was getting close to the standard there at that Liverpool right on the replay. But he just held the horse as straight as he could. With his stature, it helps wrap around the horse and keep them in the center. And that was an awesome round. That's so exciting.
Brian Goutal Martona for the SNL Farms. SNL Marlon, the Belgian-bred stallion by Desir de Chateau. Finished one in the Old Salem Grand Prix in September and in April as well, with a base up there too. Big string of both teaching and riding here in Wellington for her. But I'm just going to go back one step. That sort of final line, 11, 12, 13, like you said, holding it together over what's a long distance there.
It is, and it's actually, I'm not sure if you can see on the live stream, but it's a bit of an awkward angle.
Yeah.
The skinny
the
is...
first one is, yes.
Exactly. The skinny, the black jump in is shifted a little bit on an angle that sends you into the screen. So it invites you to almost pull out of that line.
Yeah.
It's a little bit awkward, so they're riding it so well. Of course, at this level, these riders know exactly how to handle that.
It's all deliberate,
Correct.
absolutely.
But they are jumping it nicely, better than I thought, to be honest with you. When I walked it, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a trickier line, and they're figuring it out well.
I did think the same. Now, last part triple combination catches another.
Yeah, the forward trajectory, you need to jump in. It's a big jump coming in to A of that Oxer combination.
Yeah, it's 150, 160 in there.
Yep, and A to B walks a little bit longer, and B to C is quite short.
You're 8 meters, 8 meters 20.
Exactly.
So you've made a little bit more space there.
Yep, so you do kind of run out of room coming towards home at that last portion of the combination, and the horses coming towards the gate just start to rush a little bit themselves.
Gonna come home, no problem for time, 71.62, but it is going to be 3 down, 12 for Brian Goutal-Marteau and SNL Marlon van der Heffing this time around. Little look back here at exactly what you're talking about, Sid.
Yeah, so she came in quite strong, like she needed to at A, and her position's incredible.
Yeah.
She's the epitome of proper position. You can't fault her ever or at all for a horse's style if they make an error. This is a little bit of a younger horse that she's been bringing along and as well at this height. It's newer and just looked like the vertical as he just started to tip over his front end a bit. I think he'll figure it out. He's super athletic and he'll get there.
Nick Delorier for the Wembley Farms, Delano van der Heide Z for Nick, and there's the now 11-year-old gelding by Denzel van Meulenhof. Former ride going back to Jana Vargas amongst others, and finished well in Traverse City with this horse in the Grand Prix this season as well. And good to see him back out in these with several pieces of firepower to go into the Grand Prix with several very good horses.
Yeah, he actually beat me in Michigan in that class. I was second
well,
that he won, so I remember that well. So I keep an eye on this horse. It did jump beautifully there. He got me in that class, so I of course keep an eye on my competitors and learn from them. So it's nice to see him back in this ring, and he does a good job producing horses and bringing them along.
I'm not holding a grudge.
Not at all. That's how it goes. The horse just kind of looked down there at that Liverpool with the light glaring on it, unfortunately, and just jumped into the Liverpool, obviously, instead of up and across it. Just a green mistake probably here. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what the horse does actually at the next Liverpool later in the course, see if he learns from it or if it just makes him a little bit nervous about it.
And it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle this now. I mentioned earlier, new floodlights down on the arena as well. Very few shadows, very much like being out there in the day now.
Yeah, I jumped the 2 pre-circuit Grand Prix on an older horse, so she has tons of experience, but it was a drastic difference. It's amazing. It's actually much brighter than the warm-up ring, so it does take you a minute to adjust when you come in here, but it's pretty impressive and incredible. Yeah, so that's what I had mentioned before, to see what he would do there, and he did hesitate a little bit just with that another Liverpool underneath it, but I think he finished off at the last jump nice, and he'll come back again to jump.
Absolutely, 74.68, and there it is going to finish on 12 for Nick Delorier and Delano. And again, this is where you and I sort of talked off air in the run up to this as well. We're at the start of season. Some horses will have taken a break. Some will have just been ticking over. Some are coming into this for the first time, second time. You know, there's a lot of new combinations in here, a lot of nuances to the rounds that we're going to see today.
Yeah, just getting their feet wet, like we said, whether they're seasoned or not, it's the same. You're in the same boat. It's week one, first Saturday Night Light, so everyone actually is in the same position. They have not been in here start of WEF yet. So
Keenan OConnor, very used to the big spotlights, and the Carlswood partners Bentley de Souris, horse that actually jumped in Geneva, indoors there at the huge Rolex show. Just at the tail end of last year, heads out here for the season as well. Former ride of the Spanish rider Edu Aznar as well, and headed into the stable there after Anastasia Nielsen. It'll be very interesting to see how they fare this week. So other end of the triple combination this time.
yeah, it's a little bit hard to see from our angle what happened there, to be honest.
I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Okay. Obviously, Keenan has tons of experience. He has a string of horses that he can pull out for any class, any night, and most of the time count on a clear round. So I don't think he'll think too much about this and come back next week and jump again.
Again, you've probably got a horse like this, and I'm guessing here more than I'm knowing on that, but you know, a horse like this is capable of going up to the 5 stars as well during the season, so it's a good early outing for him.
Exactly. This horse is so athletic and amazing, has a resume much more than a lot of these horses in this class, so I'm sure we'll see this horse again. That was besides unfortunate round, but I'm sure he won't be too bothered by it, and it'll jump.
A good season opener for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, 76.36 just on the 4.
He actually, to me, looked quite slow and was still under the time allowed.
Yeah.
So what we're taking from this is that you don't have to think too much about the time allowed. Now, looking on the different angle at the triple, it looked like he came in a bit flat. Like we said, you want to come in strong, and maybe the horse was thinking already about B and C before he finished jump A.
US rider Hallie Grimes now for the 22-year-old from Texas. Can we keep it LLC's Chiquito PS for this gelding by Diablo Blanco. Finished top 3 in the Grand Prix as well in Traverse City back in August. Top 5 in the Socrates Grand Prix in New York as well. Not heading up to Michigan through the summer months as well. Again, like here in a completely different way during the summer, it gives you that consistency. They have, again, almost the same 13 weeks close to it. Of action varying between 5 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars to be able to get the horses and develop horses.
Yeah, and she's been jumping this horse in some big classes for quite a long time now at this point. This horse is awesome.
Yeah.
I think everybody would love to have a horse like this part of their string. It's so scopy.
I say, what makes you say that? That is where I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, it looks so athletic and light for a big horse. It doesn't look too strong in the bridle. It looks kind as well as competitive. She's gotten to jump some really big tracks on a horse like this. She's still a young girl at this level, and the 5-star level that she jumped this horse in, it makes everything look so easy. I know that she has some big goals in mind with this horse, and there should be no reason that she can't reach them. Yeah. She's doing a really good job right now. A lot of these horses, like we said, the ones that are overqualified or are seasoned are quite overqualified for this level. So it is nice to see them just jump around. She did a fantastic job. That was a great round.
Super round, and gives us another of the clears. It's going to be clear round number 3.
She's very excited, as she should be. That's a nice round. It's hard and a lot of pressure and a big crowd and atmosphere to jump here. So it's a sigh of relief when you go through those timers when you're clear.
We see over the Oxer a little bit earlier on. It's a good one to demonstrate the scope. And here back to the Wolfer Winery vertical over the water. Yeah, the horse is just so seasoned there. Like we'd seen the other horse stare down at the jump. That one just jumped it as if it was another vertical in the course. As that lovely just way about it. Just keep going. Just keep rolling on in a lovely way. And we see horses like Hermitage Cologne is another one over in Europe as well. About incredible. That you just watch it. It just has that wonderful monotonous in a good way. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Let's go to Charlotte Jacobs now. The Northstar team of New York's Playboy JTZ. This now 10-year-old gelding by Presley Boy, which was a fantastic horse as well through to the very top level. Won a Grand Prix, the Maya Grand Prix in Traverse City through the summer. Had a very good run there. and also finished well, top 4 in the Grand Prix in the 4-star here in Wellington. She had a really good year last year, didn't she? Started here and she continued it.
Yeah, she's an amazing rider. We're the same age, so we were juniors together as well as then turning professional together. She has always been an amazing competitor, and it's so fun to, have someone in the same age group as you that rides great and is so competitive all the time and has always had a wonderful string of horses. She spent so much time doing the young horses with her family, with Northstar, and I think that just only enhanced her riding when it got to the higher level. This horse, actually, she tried as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And then wasn't looking for a 5-year-old in the moment. So they passed on it and then ended up buying him as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
So I know that she's been obviously hot on this horse for many years, and good call to stick with it and to pursue buying him as he got older, because he's so athletic and Charlotte rides incredible. So it's really exciting to watch her get to the highest level with the group of horses that she has. And she's just been killing it all year.
Looking good once again. She was one of my tips previously in one of the big Grand Prix as the name to come out. She delivered for that, and she may well deliver again tonight. 1 to go. It's a long way to that final fence, and it is going to be fine and dandy for them. Looking good. So Charlotte Jacobs home on 75.89 gives us clear round number 4. That one is not a surprise to me.
Not at all. If you had to pick, if you asked me one of my top picks in the class, I would count on her for a clear round on, to be honest with you, any of her horses at this stage in any of the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And as you say, it makes a difference having been through the partnerships, but also she works with people like Greg Broderick, that they know where the horses are coming from. They've worked with them a bit. They've seen them. They know the program where they come out of, and then they're very hot on producing the young horses through themselves as well.
And with her husband Matt, they do just an amazing job together, and it's a really exciting, cool partnership to watch the two of them. I'm so happy that she's having so much success.
Great stuff. So it is number 4 on the board there, and Lily Keenan heads on in. Lily with the Chancenet Farm in New York's Le Louvre 5 is the Westphalian by Latour. 10-year-old here for Lily. Partnership going back in the FEI classes anyway to April of last year. Went very well, and she's been going fantastically last year as well. Superbly in the Grand Prix of Greenwich, winning in Thermal. She's been fantastic both on teams and individually as well. Super horse I'm looking forward to seeing later on in the season is Kick On as well, which she's gone so well on. And with the wins in California, she basically starts off the year having had huge success to finish last year.
Yeah, Lily, again, similar Charlotte, a similar age group. Charlotte, Lily, and I were all juniors again at the same time. So a good group of riders growing up. But, of course, that's how you get better. It's good competitors, right?
Yes.
So she's always been, obviously, so talented since her junior equitation years. And now as a professional and jumper rider, she works with McLean Ward, so you can see the similar style. Her position and posture off the ground only enhances the horse's jump.
Well, and that's the thing, is you have the great basics.
Correct.
And then you start to take bits from people around you, don't you?
Yeah, so she's just set up for success, which is
yeah.
exactly. And like you said, her fall season, she's been on fire. So this is a horse I've seen a little bit. I do think that she is just stepping it up to this level now. It's a little bit more unconventional compared to her other rides, but like we said, with her style, then the horse just jumps great. She's doing a really good job.
Can I push you on that one a little bit when you're saying that?
Yeah, so you can see it gets a little twisty with its front legs, like that, where it just kind of jumps a little out from underneath her sometimes. Still gives an amazing effort. It just maybe isn't as conventional as Kick On, for example, her other horse. Exactly. So it just maybe she has to adjust her ride a little bit, or her balance has to be a bit stronger to support it, and she obviously made that look super easy, so that's exciting for her.
And all horses have different
Every
techniques.
horse is different.
I mean, everything from Cortez that used to cross over the legs on the way over, but won Grand Prix after Grand Prix and World Championship medals.
It used to be also that you would see more types of horses, thicker, heavier, warm blood, scopy. And now you're back to seeing a little bit more of that thoroughbred-y, bloody, hotter type, which, goes different than a Sapphire.
Because back in the old days, it was thoroughbreds.
Thoroughbreds, exactly. So it looks like, and personally, that's my style to gravitate towards as well, a little bit of a lighter, hot, more thoroughbred type. Yeah, like my horse Villamora. So I would put that Lily's horse in that category, and it's jumped around that as easy as something like Hallie's horse that is on the other end of the spectrum.
Jandana, talking of people in hot form as well, and Caro W for the combination here that has gone so well this season. National Grand Prix wins together, one out internationally in Ottawa as well. Number of national wins too. Probably one of their biggest seasons last year too. But I mean, you get him in a jump off, and he's hard
sweat.
to hold.
I get nervous.
Yeah.
If he's after me or before me, it's not over till it's over. And I feel like I'm a fast rider, but then sometimes, I mean, he could beat me by 2 or 3 full seconds.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He has no fear.
And talking about, as you say, gleaning things, I mean, he's got Leslie Howard in his corner from that point of view. She won the World Cup. She did all the things she did, Olympic medals, etc. So to have that in your armory now, okay, a couple of chinks in the armory there, having 2 down in the triple combination. Thoughts on that?
It's a little bit hard from the head-on angle to see what happened.
We'll come back to that in the replay.
Okay.
Let's follow this through to the finish. But as you say, I mean, he just has that fabulous competitive blood flowing through his veins.
As well as the horses that back it up. He has these horses are so competitive that after 8 horse that he jumps and wins a ton on, that one is so bloody and fast. So you put him in a jump off and sometimes or most times are in trouble.
Okay, not the day at the office they wanted, finishing on 16 there, 74-67, but they can have plenty of good days at the office as well from that point of view.
This horse jumped great preseason under the lights, just tonight wasn't his night. Looked like he gave it actually quite a kick off the ground, thinking about getting across, and then just rushed it too much, so he had the front rail behind, so it was just too much power, too much leg off the ground maybe.
So, remind you of the clears so far. It is Francesco Goaga Molet, Lily Keenan, Hallie Grimes, Charlotte Jacobs, Ansgar Hodges Jr. in the mix so far. Lucy Delorier of New York as well. Luge LLC's Jovaro N, this Dutch-bred stallion. Again now 11 by H5 Elvaro. H5 team of, in fact, we've got one of the riders of the family coming up a little later on with Carlos Guerrero. And that's being passed on to the next generation with this horse. They finished well in the Hamptons this year, very well at Silo Ridge as well, top 3 in the Empire State Grand Prix at North Salem this season as well. And again, for her, it's been really developing the next stage of her career after the Great Hester, of course.
Yeah, Hester was an unbelievable animal, and she accomplished some incredible, she accomplished a lot of incredible moments, parts of her career that were unbelievable. So, like you said, it's just starting a new partnership now and getting there. And this horse, she can really pull out and jump any class she wants. I know that she's aiming for some big classes this winter, so this will set her up to build for the rest of the circuit. Like you said, like her style, back to that equitation basics is just beautiful. The horses really, jump up nicely to her, and her contact with the horse all the time is just on it 100%. I know that she's now been getting some help from BZ Madden, who needs no introduction.
Well, that's a plus, isn't it?
Right. To have that in your quarter is pretty amazing. Oh, that was too bad. You could tell actually as she was taking off, she may have known she didn't make enough room there, unfortunately. Oop, there as well.
Coming in on the 8. Time is as I say, not having too overriding a factor here tonight as well. Finishes on 76-66, so still inside that. 8 faults for Lucy Delorier and Jovaro N, but again would have been one of their very first times under the lights here as well. Yeah,
exactly. I think that she's aiming for some big classes this winter. She's a beautiful, great rider with everything in her knowledge and in her corner to set her up for success this winter, so she'll build off of that.
And that's the thing, you look down this list, there are 1 or 2 in here. Okay, this it's always an interesting mix in the early weeks, because you've got those, this is where they will shine for the season, and you've also got others you're looking at going, you feel they're testing the buttons out here for some much bigger stuff that's going to happen in a few weeks' time.
Exactly. A lot of these riders, okay, they all want to be competitive and jump clear, and you want to jump clear and win any Grand Prix, especially in WEF.
Yeah.
But for sure, they could be using this as a build-up for the rest of the season.
And for you, you know, you get the horse in there and go, okay,
Now
how
you
do
have
they
a good
handle that?
read. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have a good read on for the rest of the winter, and you can fine-tune some things. Lucy will come back and jump many clear rounds.
Genevieve Mayer now of the USA, and Olisco P. Early rail for her with this Belgian-bred gelding by Houston. Who's also competing over in Europe last year in Spain. Just makes a bit of a dive move there, and it just leaves them really off, and sensibly doesn't attempt to make that next one.
Yeah, she got it quite deep to jump
Yeah.
to, which I think maybe I just set the horse off a bit. And then again, with the lights and the screen glares directly onto that Liverpool. So if you have any horse that may be a bit aware, that's a very hard jump to clear. You just kind of jumped into it rather than just up to her. Looks like she's just going to jump the first jump again and come out. Yeah.
There we go.
This horse jumped great actually in the WEF. She had a really nice round as well. So I'm sure we'll see plenty of her back. And it's looks like it's a good partnership that just needs some time here under the lights.
And you've produced enough horses now to know that it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, isn't it?
You're always building. You
Yes.
jump, you're high one day, and then you're going back into the 120 or some schoolie rounds the next week and build back up.
But
And there's
but
so many weeks to jump.
Exactly. The reality is it's always 3 steps forward, maybe one of them back again, and
Always.
you learn a little bit more, and then you make another few more steps.
I have this conversation with my students. I do a lot of training, and you know, in the younger generation, it's hard to understand that you just want to go higher, more,
You just keep
more all
going
the time.
in a sort of full-on plane trajectory.
Exactly. Unfortunately, it's not reality with horses, and they'll keep reminding you that all the time.
Fernando Cardas now of Colombia, and Cool Reina is the now 11-year-old stallion by Quincy Carr.
Happy to see him here.
Yep.
I used to show a lot in Tryon, and
Yes.
I know he bases there, and
Yep.
he does a lot of young horse developing, and he normally is clear with the time fall in those Tryon Grand Prix in the summer with young horses. So now it looks like his young horses have hopefully, grown up. And
Oop, off we go. No, it didn't work out.
all right, so the horse just got a bit careful there. He got away with the miss at the Liverpool. Maybe at that point he should have tried to do 5 strides. I don't think 4 was feasible with the chip in. But it doesn't look like the horse is bothered, and he's continuing on.
So very well in Tryon, also in Carla at Weck up there as well. And with a good building run through. Again, would be one of their first appearances here. And I mean, you've ridden at other venues under the lights. There are a few now that you can get under the lights at night. You go, okay, well, you've done that. But this feels a little bit different here all the time.
It's not like anywhere else I've jumped.
Yeah.
It's the atmosphere, it's the size of the jumps. You can build jumps here for some reason bigger than anywhere else,
Yeah.
and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, the atmosphere here and just the level of show jumping versus another facility under the lights is very different. Ooh,
You
that
say
was
sort of-
pretty impressive. that
Sort of
horse.
got away with the first one, and then
Yeah, I think if he had maybe tried, I know he had to go forward after the horse chip, but that 4 is generous enough that maybe if he had set up and done 5.
but then you're in the hard part of I'm
Then
losing
being
momentum.
too deep, exactly.
Yeah.
I think he was just thinking kick, no matter what,
Yeah.
go forward.
And you've got to make that's the whole point of the
That's
sport.
game time decision.
You've got to make all those decisions. It's very easy for us to sit on the outside and go, well, what you should have done is,
Correct.
I mean, it's dead easy like that. But when it's happening at
In the moment.
35 miles an hour, and you're sitting 6 feet in the air, and you've got to
Right.
make a split-second decision, and you can see several
React.
pieces of timber coming at you, to say, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to go
Right.
4 or are you going to go 5? but that's where instinct kicks in as well. isn't it?
Exactly. He reacted. He did something
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Yeah. Ascadina PPZ for Max Routledge of Great Britain. And Max, I think, what, second season? Maybe more than that now out here in Florida for the winter with he and wife Emily. Ascadina, the mare by Aska Z, which has been very successful as well. Max with a very good string of horses. He's been a super producer of horses back in the UK as well. There's a few that have been out there at the very top level over the years that he's been behind, and he tends to do that, tends to produce some really good ones through. Going to be really interesting to see. He also used to be a very, probably still got it in there, but spent a lot more time in polo as well. He was an excellent polo player.
Wow, I didn't know that.
There you go.
Yeah, he does a really good job producing horses. He won a lot of classes pre-season here with a couple horses, and his really good gray horse that he has actually was just sold to another American rider. So like you said, he
Yeah.
produces them and they get sold and move on. So I think this is now going to be his top horse for this moment because the gray one is now out of his string. So it jumps extremely well behind.
Going to bring them home on the 8 faults, and again, that would be, guessing their first time out here, as certainly part of WEF. End of the lights there, 72.92, and 8 faults Max Routledge and Ascadina PPZ. But again, you can see in there, okay, that one didn't quite work out, they didn't get across it, but there's some good highlights in there.
Yeah, I jumped a lot of jumps really well. I think just some fine tuning, and like we said, like that was incredible behind. Maybe almost overpowered it too much that by the time he got to C, couldn't rock back enough, gave too good of a jump at A. You don't say that often.
Yeah, you get the full A for effort, but it just didn't quite translate.
Exactly.
US rider Andrew Wells, Evergreen Stables idol H&H, now 12 years of age by Action Breaker. And combination competing here in April as well. Tail end of last year going well. Finished into the top 3 in the 3-star Grand Prix here in Wellington in November too. As I say, they had those 2 FEI shows in the run-up as well, and the tail end of 2024. Interesting to see how this pair come out. And just a reminder, 5 clears so far in this Southern Arches Grand Prix. And again, this is a pairing they've been together a good while now, so.
Yeah, they've had it since it was 7 years old, I believe. He's done a great job developing the horse and bringing it to this level. So they know each other extremely well. He jumped some massive classes on it in Spruce Meadows and some 5-star Grand Prix on it. He runs a really nice business with his wife, Alex Wells. They have a beautiful farm here. So I know that he does a lot of teaching as well as the riding.
Just on the 4 at the moment for Andrew.
Hard to see from our angle why he had B of the triple. Maybe just tipped over himself and rushed it a bit. It's same idea at the plank, but it's putting otherwise a nice round together. And the horse is jumping good. I know that he has, or I'm sure he has some plans to jump some bigger classes this circuit.
And that's the good thing with the circuit here, is you can build up to that. You can do the 3 stars, the nationals, move us up to 4-star over the next few weeks, and then see where you're sitting at that point.
Exactly. I think he'll take a lot from that round and continue to just stick to his plan and build up from that. So let's see the triple there. Yeah, I just jumped too low. Sometimes it's that simple.
That's the way, it's as simple as that. But it's going to be really interesting this season when we get into the bigger Grand Prix as well, because we've been looking down and there's something like 6-7 of the world's top 10 heading out here. Who knows if we might end up with all of them by the end of the season from that point of view. I was chatting to Christian Kukuk earlier on, of course the new Olympic champion. He's excited to be here for the season. There's plans for Henrik van Eckermann and various others, all appearing here. It's going to get, but that's going to make it really strong. There's
so exciting. And Martin
group of
Fuchs
Europeans coming in there,
Right, and then it's just the coolest thing to be in one location and have the top of the sport here at our fingertips to watch from and learn from.
Yeah,
it's truly incredible. I hope that the younger generation pays attention to it, because you don't have to fly across the world to go watch all of these riders or stare at a computer screen to do it. You can literally watch it live and in person if you're here. Exactly, it's really amazing.
And exactly what we were saying in WEF Weekly this week as well. So go and do that. It's reiterated again, which is great. Luis Fernando Larrazabal and Baroness had to do a little bit of work down there from that point of view.
The horse started to get quite careful already at jump 2, so he's strong and super reactive of a ride horse, so he responded immediately. Unfortunately, at that early rail on.
Very good year last year. Also made it through with Condara to the Olympics, Pan Ams the year before that as well.
And he won the $50,000 National Grand Prix down here in December with another horse.
Coming home on the 8 so far. Now, interestingly, this has ridden a little bit better than I expected.
Yeah, the horses are jumping that skinny a lot nicer than we thought. Again, these horses and riders are so seasoned in order to even jump at this level, so they've clearly figured it out and know how to jump that jump well.
But there we go, finish on the 874.19, goes into 11th so far for Luis Fernando Larrazabal and Baroness. But I know when I walked the course, we were all down there, you look to that fence and it's sort of half facing towards the international club. It's offset from it's not like coming down on a straight line and you're following it down. It was really sort of
on an awkward angle, and I'm not sure if you can tell that on the screen, but as well as that 6 strides to the Liverpool did walk a bit long, so it kind of forced you to maybe rush that skinny, but it looks like now these horses are jumping it so nicely they don't have to rush that skinny.
High Star Hero with McLean Ward, the world, what number? 8 as he is right now, has been continuing the top 10 of the world, and of course last year adding another Olympic medal to his haul with the team silver in Paris as well. Brilliant year again for him from that point of view. Went so well in Geneva just a few weeks ago, brilliantly in the Aachen Grand Prix last year as well. Now this is a former ride of Australian Olympian Tyser Irwin, this one from Mike and Wendy Smith. Once again, I watched this horse quite a few times with Tyser in the Grand Prix last year, really impressed with it. There's just been a little bit of moving around of horses from that point of view. Tyser's still got plenty of horses with them as well. She's producing some of the next generation ones through, and I'm going to be really excited to see him on this horse this year because it looked really super last year.
Yeah, the horse, Tyson, McLean, obviously their styles are different, but the horse still jumped amazing for both of them. It looks like it just thrives with McLean, as most horses do. He's incredible. Its horse was really cool and exciting at the Hampton Classic when he jumped it there and won that big class.
Yeah,
I think that won the Grand Prix. Yeah, the qualifier. Sorry. So I think starting out on that kind of note, obviously got all eyes on him, and now it'll be interesting to watch what they can accomplish. I think this is the first time that the horse is jumping out this season here in Wellington, so he looks fresh and excited, and he's giving great effort.
They've been able to have a few Ryans in here now, and again last week some of them. It was interesting to see some of the national classes last week, and you saw some horses coming out. They went, "Well, that's a really big name to be coming out in the national week."
Right, but they're building up. Like we said, it's you go up 3 steps, come down. It's ebbs and flows in the sport, and he obviously knows exactly how to build up a horse for the rest of the season. And he made that look like light work. Not a surprise that he's clear.
And you would hope that, bearing in mind with 3-star this week, they're going to go up another 2 levels. This is going to be a 5-star combination from that 100%. Point of view. But they haven't got the mileage.
Exactly. I think getting his feet wet in this class, I know he's going to try and win. He tries to win every class. Yeah. And this horse's stride is enormous, as fast as its front end can be at the same time. So it'll be really exciting to watch him in the jump off.
Clear round number 6 of this $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix here tonight. Lacey Gilbertson now. And Lacey with Lulu is the mare by Lord Pezzi Jr., now 10. Winners in the Grand Prix in Kentucky in September as well. Finished top 3 in the 4-star Grand Prix here in November as well. Been really interesting to follow this horse through because she was jumping it last year and as a younger horse coming into those bigger levels, and it was just so consistent.
I absolutely love this horse. I see this horse.
I'm not surprised.
I know. I get so excited to watch it go. Again, another testament to Shane Sweetnam and his program. He does a great job matching horses with the riders and their pair. This horse is deceiving. It's so light across the ground, and it doesn't give such a big effort at every jump, but it also still jumps it so easy. It has the same style over everything. Again, when it jumps 130 or 150 or 155. It's so bloody. Does look like it can get a bit strong. I watched Shane do it in a schooling class actually a week ago to help set it up for this week, knowing Lacey was going to jump FEI. This is exciting to watch and cool for Lacey. She has such a nice string of horses. This horse is definitely one I would pick.
I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah.
But as you say, it's not always about coming in there and going, okay, this horse has got more tools in the bank. It's going to jump 2 foot over these fences, no problem at all. The very best horses, and All In was one that did that, would just do enough all the time. Yeah,
we call it like a little bit of a skimmer.
Yeah.
Doesn't get so much airtime, which is also why it makes it so competitive. That was just unfortunately too deep. Looked like she started to maybe try and fit that last stride in too late and ran out of room. Unfortunate. That was otherwise the horse jumped easy. Again, we'll see her jumping some big classes this winter. Won't be surprised. She has a wonderful group of horses to back up this one.
Just finished on the 475.24, goes into 8th for Lacey Gilbertson and Lulu. But again, I'm going to put this on the list of ones to watch for the season.
Definitely. And like we had been talking about earlier in the class, that angle of that skinny, it got her. That was one of the riders that maybe it tricked her a little bit into the track there in that corner. Yeah. I think she just got a little bit tricked by the angle of the jump and ended up trying to add another stride.
Couple of strides out, she's
exactly.
going, this isn't going to fit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Alex Granato now, Kismer Equestrians. Helios is the Dutch-bred stallion by numero uno, now 13 years of age. Pan Am medalist, many-time Grand Prix winner, World Cup winner as well. And again, for him, it's been great to see him out with this horse after the great career of Caro W that he'd won so much on, that he's now won a lot on this. He won the 4-star Grand Prix in Traverse City back earlier this year, won another Grand Prix there, won the 3-star Grand Prix here in November. They are very much on the right trajectory for this stallion. Okay, now what, 13 years of age, is absolutely ready to go and do this.
Yeah, this is exciting. I love watching Alex ride, and he's so competitive. Again, like you said, with Carlton, he was an unbelievable career. It's a hard act to follow with any horse that you have. That one's so special. But this is exciting. Again, back to Michigan. I'm not sure why I keep saying I get smoked by these riders in Michigan, but he did.
You smoked a few yourself there. Don't worry, I've watched it.
I was third in that class that he won. I thought I went fast, but he's so fast and so brave, and this horse was right with him. I don't know if he's jumped in many night classes.
No.
That was unfortunate there. Just actually the horse's belly just got a bit low jumping out at sea. Ooh, that was a good rub on that jump. But you could see then he reacted and kicked the horse in front of his leg before this triple bar, which is a smart move here. Actually interesting, in the pre-circuit, in the preseason, one of the Grand Prix, the horse's shoe came off and it had the middle rail down on the jump. Jumped a clear round, but it kicked through. The shoe knocked the center rail down, so it technically wasn't for faults. No. But I know that video went viral and was streaming everywhere of this horse, which was not a common thing to have happen.
Eagle-eyed judges down there, finishing on a total of 8. The good thing is these days as well, you can see it on a video. So
exactly, you have proof.
75-51. There are certain things that you're not going to look at on the video for going back for judging, but there's certain things to go, well, actually, that helps me.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
slow it down, I can see what it's doing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them slowing down into this triple combination and how that went there.
Just unfortunate. He jumped a little bit too low up front and then just came down early behind. Maybe a little fast as well there. Got a bit flat and carried it behind there. Kind of the same rail 2 times, so I'm sure he'll go back and fix that for the next time.
Caitlin Boyle now. And now for the 28-year-old is Navarre, last of this first half of the class, the Bayard Farms ride here. Won at the National Horse Show in Lexington last year as well. Been going really well this week too. Really solid one. But again, she's another one, first time under the WEF lights.
I spoke to her. She asked for any words of advice. I said, just stick to your plan. You know your horse super well. And she's more than capable of jumping this class. She wouldn't be doing it if she wasn't ready to do it. This horse is awesome. I've known this horse actually quite a while. It was formerly ridden by Vanessa Hood. This horse is so cool. It has the perfect amount of blood. It's so brave. It is really an awesome horse. I know that she's just working on the consistency in the canter and not letting it take over, because it does get quite hot. But she has had awesome success, and she rides so well. So it's fun to see her in these classes. She deserves to be here. This horse is just giving an awesome effort. Look, you can see his expression. He's so excited to do the job and look for the next jump. He's jumping it so easy. Oh, she's got to slow down a little. That was well ridden. Oh, you could kind of see that coming a little bit even before at the tan combination there. He just started to get a little bit quick and rush. For her first Saturday Night Light Grand Prix, I think she'll be thrilled with that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Into 8th place, 74.11 there, just on the 4 for Caitlin Boyle. And Navarre, as you say, first time, step up for them. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think she'll be excited about that round, maybe kicking herself a little bit, knowing that the 4 got short.
But you're also caught in the trap that is laid there for you, that that everyone will get, a lot will get caught on.
Exactly. To be honest, it looked like on the replay she did make enough room,
Yeah.
but maybe the horse's momentum was just a bit too high.
Made enough room in front,
Exactly.
and they
Just
carried on
carried on with it, exactly.
Takes us through the first half of this $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix here tonight. Let's remind you of the clears as we've got of those, and an exciting group of 6 at the moment making it into the jump-off. Second half still to come, and a reminder too, this is the reverse order of the WEF Challenge Cup, the Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week as well. So those going later in this draw come in with the real up-to-date form. Francisco Gawaga Molet gave us a clear for Spain. The rest of them have all got the stars and stripes next to them. Ansgar Holsters Jr., Hallie Grimes, Charlotte Jacobs, Lee Keenan and McLean Ward all on the 0 list. So they're going to be back for the jump-off, and as we can see, trucks just heading in and tractors. And it is getting set for the second part of this. So we'll take just a little breather. It gives a chance to say a few thank yous as well to all those bringing the events to you through the season, including the USCF, presenting sponsor of our live stream in part with the support of US Equestrian Federation and the USCF network as well, powered by clipmyhorse.tv as well. Thank you to them. And also to Dog Technologies, our partner in engineering, extraordinary experiences since 1983. And discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events at dodtechnologies.com as well, bringing extra technology here to the venue here in Wellington as well. And of course, our presenting sponsor of the Grand Prix here tonight as well, Southern Arches. A huge thanks to them as well. We're going to be back after a short break as you hear from a few of our supporters, and we'll be resuming into the second half of this Southern Arches Grand Prix.
FarmVet is here to support you and your horse, both in and out of the show ring. From our highly trained staff to the best horse health product selection, everything you need is just a few steps away. From brushes and bandages to all of your pharmacy needs, FarmVet has just what you are looking for. From all of us to you, welcome to FarmVet. We are Horse Health.
At Deaver Golf Cars, we bring excitement to your golf car experience. We have an extensive range of new and refurbished inventory, and our team will fulfill all your sales, service, and rental needs. Whether you're teeing it up on the course, cruising through the neighborhood, or at the campground with family and friends, we have options to fit each and every lifestyle. Experience the Deaver difference, built on a tradition of excellence and service since 1978.
And it is with some massive names to be taking part in the Grand Prix and classes throughout this year as well. Already underway with dressage too. Reminder too, we've already won World Cup behind us in dressage already. One of 4 this season. So not just the jumping, but the hunters. And so a little bit of something for everyone here at Wellington International. Even the itty-bitty jumpers as well. So looking forward to all of that. But into our first big Saturday night with the $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix. Thank you to Southern Arches once again, our presenting sponsor of tonight's class and terrific supporters of the sport here in America as a whole as well. Thank you to them. And, of course, throughout to all our sponsors throughout the season. Dodd Technologies as well, presenting sponsor of our live stream as well. Your partner in engineering extraordinary experiences since 1983. And discover how they elevate sports, entertainment and corporate events as well. Head to their website at doddtechnologies.com. And our thanks to the USEF as well. Presenting sponsor of our live stream in part with support of the US Equestrian Federation and the USEF network as well. So first half completed of this $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix here tonight. They're just putting the fences back in position, and we're going to take a little look through some of those of the highlights of how it went in that first round as well. Kevin Gallagher opening things up with ballerina Joem. One to succumb to the plank, as was Margie Engel as well. That trap that's been laid down there for them. Wilton Porter early on with Stern Mark III, his brother, to come up in the second half of the class here. So looking forward to that. Goes about, fifth of our group as we get into the second half of this Southern Arches Grand Prix here tonight. And also the groups of clears coming out of that list. We saw 6 clears coming out of that first round fantastically as well. Triple combination, though, played its part for a few. Turn back into this triple combination for Brianne Gautal-Marteau. Lovely round from her again, and as we said, there's going to be quite a few. They're going to be building up for those big combinations throughout the season. And Sid Shulman Desideri alongside me. That was a fence that we picked out a little bit earlier on that was going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, the angle that skinny is set on makes it difficult to read going into the Liverpool. So it's starting to catch some of the riders, especially as the night goes on. It looks like that line's starting to ride a little bit trickier.
Nick De La Gioia and Delano just taking a little tip there of the fences. Again, it's going to be another pair I'm going to be interested to see through the season.
Yeah, it just looked like he got a bit green under the lights with both Liverpools, and I think he'll go home, train that, and come back stronger.
Looking good for them, as I say. It's going to be the starting blocks of what's to come in 2025. Triple combination caught a few there, Sid.
Yeah, we've seen A and C come down most frequently. We've seen B come down a little bit, so it looks like they're either riding A too strong that it's catching up to them by the time they get to C, or vice versa. Yes.
Plank, as I mentioned, was a little bit of the openly known trap laid out there. A little bit of a tighter turn there for Genevieve Meyer. From that point of view, she decided to call it a day and head back over that first fence. And a little bit of improvisation that didn't quite work out, but that's what you've got to do in the sport sometimes.
You have to react. Right or wrong, you have to do something. So he did something, didn't work out, but maybe next time the horse will react a bit sooner.
Max Routledge, good around from him, but again just drops the back bar early on for them. Here into the triple combination.
That one we said he jumped the A of that combination too well.
Yeah, Andrew Wells with Idle H&H. And again, they do just fall very easily.
Yeah, you know, it's a testament to Nick's course. You see rails actually happening on every single part of the course.
Yeah.
Nothing scary, nothing dramatic. Nothing that's going to set the horse backwards for the rest of season. Just a delicate course. So
which is the sport these days.
Which is the sport these days. You need a light horse that comes off the ground quick, and these poles fall so easily. Just you can breathe on them sometimes to fall down. So, again, the course is a beautifully built course, and horses are jumping it very well. And even having one down, they're still jumping the rest nicely. They're just taking these jumps and touching them and having them down.
Comment from you on the clears so far.
It's an exciting group. You have obviously McLean, who's super seasoned, as well as now backed up by the new next generation between Paco, Onski, Hallie, Charlotte, and Lily. You know, they're all under 31 years old and up and coming and exciting with amazing groups of horses. So it's not a surprise at all that they're in that jump off.
I like the way you picked 31. Yes, there's the 6 so far. Some, like great wines, get better with age as well. So those are the 6 out of the group. And I mentioned just a few minutes ago as well, we're going into the second half of this, which is the best group, the results of the WEF Challenge Cup, which was something that was started last year, has been carried through to this year as well, which is going to be really interesting. So you jump your way into position back on Thursday.
Right, so we have already enough in the jump off to make a really good class, and we haven't even gotten to the meat of the class yet with from the WEF result. So I'm excited to see what the second half brings, some really great combinations. 6
clears so far. Do we want to just lay it down and go double that up, or it might be a little bit more than that? It'd be interesting to see, I think. I'm going to put my neck on the line and probably go same again. But
I think you're right. Between hopefully, the Olympic gold medalist, Shane Sweetnam, BZ Madden. I mean, you have Roberto, an amazing list of riders to come, Aaron Ballard.
Balancing that off against the experience of their horses.
Exactly. So we'll see. I think there could be at least another 6 clear.
There we go. Okay, we agree on that. We will see at the end. We do not have a crystal ball, but I'm excited to see the group coming up. You mentioned just a few of the names in there. The arm goes back up, the barrier goes back up. David Burton, the man who's behind the operations and sport here as well, down there very much at the foreground. Let's in Mario Delorier, the 4-time Olympian with SNL Quattro this time around. The now 9-year-old mare by Pleasure van der Mispeler. And for the Edelmans, for the SNL Farms, and apparently they've been together since 2023. He's again put some good winter results behind him. Hugely experienced rider, and that's what's going to be a little bit of a hallmark of some of these coming through here, as you mentioned. Christian Kukuk in there, Nal Nassar, BZ Madden, Rene Dittmer, right down to Roberto Turan at the end, Shane Sweetnam. There's going to be names in there that are strong, but with less experienced horses. And that's what this is all about.
Exactly. These riders have been in the ring so many times, but this is show jumping.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. You're on a live animal. Like we said, bringing young horses along. I've competed, luckily, against these riders day in, day out in these competitions, and it can be anybody's day. Oof. That was a beautiful first jump. At least you're starting off on a high there when your horse jump one like that. Yeah. That's exciting. That catches your attention and wants you to keep watching. Mario does an impressive job bringing along young horses. He had Amsterdam, which was an amazing horse to watch, along with his daughter Lucy, who we had seen go earlier in the class. He really knows how to pick a nice horse, and he backs it up with his ability to ride. So it's fun to watch what he comes out with every season. It actually just showed, obviously, his experience there in the triple. The horse gave a huge effort at A. And he did an amazing job of not letting it rush at B or C like we had seen some of the other horse and rider combinations do. That horse was extremely athletic in that triple. That was too bad.
That one hasn't fallen too much either.
No, I don't think we've seen that come down that much. That was a little unfortunate. This horse just looks really light across the ground. Looks like it just goes in a snaffle. It jumped that skinny beautifully. I think this is going to be a cool horse to mark down and remember for the rest of its career, let alone this season.
Get your notebooks out.
Exactly.
There's a few tonight to put into that category,
Definitely.
but that is SNL Quattro.
For sure.
And Mario Delorier of Canada. It's a total of 4 at 76.16, puts them into 10th place so far.
I think he's mad about that. When you, as a rider, being in that position when you have the back rail and the triple bar, it's you're not going to forget that. That's if a little bit. You always think of the triple bars. They're replaying it as a freebie. That's how we relate to that jump often, and I think that was just maybe a little bit of the horse's green mistake, thinking about what came after. But I think he's not going to let that one go easy.
And you're the trainer in this case, not me, but you'll talk to your pupils about finishing the jump.
Exactly. Finish the jump that you're jumping before you go to the next. Sometimes the horses naturally look up and see what's next and are so smart that maybe that was the case where he picked his head up and saw a combination in front of him and just unfortunately came down early.
And that naturally pushes your back end down a little.
Exactly. Just cut down behind already thinking about what was next.
Kathleen Driscoll and Hidalgo, what a super season for her last year. She has been out with injury, though, towards the tail end of it, so it didn't finish quite as well. She had a wonderful run through the summer. Great to see her back in the saddle from that point of view. Don Stewart's Hidalgo here that she's won so much on by Kotoki, and this could be her really big year, I feel.
Yeah, she's really excited about this horse. I was speaking to her earlier. That was just a bit unlucky, to be honest, but she is hoping to jump some 5-star classes on this horse this circuit.
Yeah.
Like we said, this is actually her first show back and like 4th time jumping since September. So it's pretty impressive just from a fitness standpoint. I know that's hard to get back in the groove, but she's so seasoned and so naturally gifted with her riding.
And she's tough.
She is
very
tough.
I was watching her in September and she wanted to work through the injury and everything else. And it was like, this is just not
working.
She tried and she put some really gritty performances together, but sometimes you've got to go, I need to take a step back and get this sorted.
Exactly, which, the beauty about this sport is you can always come back to it. It'll always be here. So if you need the time, I myself had a baby a year ago, so I also took a year off, and then I was able to come right back to the sport exactly where I wanted to be. So
don't worry, whatever time of year is, there's a show.
Thank you. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. You'll always come back to it. It is always here for you.
I know it seems like it sometimes, but anyway, 8 jumping 1 time, 78.43 for Kathleen Driscoll and Hidalgo. I would have said that was a fairly solid way back in.
100%. I think that the horse just unfortunately just had that one a little bit behind and had the in of the double similarly. So I think that once they fix that, then they'll have a lot of success this winter. She told me that she hoped this was just a nice experience, a nice round, and planning to jump some 5-star classes this
Knocking
winter.
a bit of rust off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now Chile's Jorge Mat Captivia and CCS Eurico, the Holsteiner Stallion by Eurico. For Jorge, there's now 11-year-old, jumped well in France last season as well, in Saint-Tropez for the Pan Am rider. Again, he's got a couple of very good horses to go to now.
Yeah, one of my students we leased one of his horses that he had jumped some Grand Prix on and high amateurs on, so I've gotten to know him over the past year from getting his horse, and super nice guy.
Really?
He has a lot of horses that jump great, and now this one's a little bit newer coming up to this level for him. I'm fortunate to have the horse from his string now in my stable with one of my students. So he does a good job.
And like a few, they have serious business interests outside of this as well, that they manage to be functioning on that top level of the corporate world and be top sports people as well.
Exactly. It's amazing to try and manage different things while still jumping the top of the sport. Myself training, I have students that compete every day as well as myself showing in the same time within the same hour. So, as a couple riders in this class, whether it's they have clients and trainers as well as riding, or businesses and outside passions, it's nice that you can do both.
And that was a scramble at the last, unfortunately, and he raised his eyes. That just didn't go to plan how they wanted.
He got there, like we'd said earlier when we had gone over the course, it was 9 or 10.
Yeah.
He got there in 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it was just a miscommunication.
Yeah. Hey-ho. But otherwise, again, some decent elements to take out of that. Comes down there nicely. This, again, is, as you say, is a good distance down to this last. I don't mean it's a good distance to find. It's a long distance to find to the last.
It is. I think it's pretty nice. You have options. I think he maybe made his decision. He not maybe, he made his decision too late,
Yeah.
and that's why he ended up in that position.
Now on to Abigail McArdle of the USA in the Sweetwater Jumpers Olympia, the now 11-year-old by Elvis Terput for the Belgian ride for Abby. Finished well in the Grand Prix qualifiers here back into the shows in November. Also top 3 in the Grand Prix, the Split Rock shows in Kentucky in September as well. She's been a winner, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's always, I remember when we did junior jumpers, she had a horse named Cosma 20.
Yes.
That was a small, hot chestnut mare, and she was very hard to beat. So going back again, similar to Lily and Charlotte, Abby was in there as well.
Yeah.
So we had quite a competitive junior group of riders.
But that helps raise you as well, doesn't
100%
it?
only makes you better.
Yes.
If you compete against the best, then you're only going to learn how to get better and teaches you how to be competitive. And interestingly enough, you look at that era, that group of riders, and most of them are professional riders now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we all came out alive.
Exactly. I remember David Broom saying to me years ago, for those that follow that era, surround yourself with the best and they lift you up. And he won the World
100%.
Championship, he won everything else.
Makes perfect sense.
And that's what he said.
You know, competing against, getting to compete, knowing in this sport that there's no age restriction.
Yeah.
Getting to compete against the BZ Madden, McLean Ward, Mario, Aaron, etc. that maybe, you know, a bit older and Margie, and of course they're more experienced than you.
Yes.
It teaches you to raise your game.
Yeah. There we go, finishing on just the 4 this time, 74 just over there for Abby McArdle, 74.85 with Olympia Van Het Eichenhoff. Overall thoughts on Abby's round? She goes in the top 10. She goes in the money.
That was a really good round. That was, unfortunately, she said, again, when we had discussed 9 or 10 there, she got a bit long. I think that another day she would clear the plank. We said that she left quite a bit of room, similar to Caitlin Boyle's round, where he just caught it on the way up with a lot of momentum. But the horse jumped really nicely, and I think that she's going to be mad about that one rail.
But self-criticism
100%. It's key.
Is key.
It's how you learn and move on and get better.
And I remember asking Luke Gebirbaum about his perfect round once when I interviewed him, and he said there wasn't one. There's never been. I mean, the guys won 3, 4 gold medals.
Yep.
I've never had a round that I went, that's
that
the
was one. Yep.
They could all be better.
You learn something new every day in the sport. You can never stop learning.
Lucas Porter, Sleepy P Ranch, like I say, brother a little bit earlier on in the class. Vigo Keita, the mare by Vigo de Sway, and went superbly in Live Oak last season as well, based out in Holland as well as here in America as well. The two brothers returning here to the US soil. It's with a combination with a very good record through the 3-star competitions too.
I haven't gotten to watch this horse so much in person.
Yeah.
I'd seen a couple videos of it and was following it while it was in Europe. It actually goes quite soft. Like, you can see his reins are a bit long, and at the end, right before it takes off, he actually ends up giving a bit to let the horse use itself, like you can see right here, which is not normally the American style, but I know he's been living in Europe and working with Jeroen and Double Dam and learning from him, and it's a little bit more of a European style that allows the horse to really use itself. You can see here it looks a bit different, but it's working. Unfortunately there, maybe just got a little distracted.
But again, as much as everybody has their own style, whether it's McLean, whether it's Beasy, whatever it is, there are those little adjustments you might not notice that every horse is very definitely not the same, and they have to make that.
You have to adjust your ride 100%.
And that's where we talk about that experience coming in. Coming home on the 8 faults here for Lucas Porter and Vigo Keita, going to be a little bit over the time as well. Total of 9 for Lucas at 79.44. But that's where we talk, and we harp on about partnerships and the time it takes. And you know, having done it with some of your horses, that time is where you've learned to say, okay, this is the compensation I make for you and you make for me.
100%. And I think top riders at this sport will adjust their ride for each horse as well to try and match what is comfortable for them. You can't ride every horse the same.
There we go. Little bit of a brush to start off with. Erin Ballard of Canada, now the Canadian Olympian, where the Zarca de Belém is the French-bred mare, and the now 11-year-old that jumped in Mexico this year at the end of last year as well. And going to be really interested to see how this pair come together. Again, pairing that were a tail end of last year as well. Erin, who just rides probably more horses than anyone.
She's one of my idols.
Yeah.
She is one of the coolest girls ever. Of course, female supporting female, but she
rider supporting rider.
Rider supporting rider. She's incredible. She rides every single type of horse. She's so competitive. She jumps so many animals, but probably more clear rounds on as many different horses as most. She's so cool, calm, and collected, and brave, and she's awesome. I ride some horses for Failan Furter myself, and I've bought a lot of horses from him, so I get to work closely with Erin and Elan, and their system's amazing. They do such a good job, and it's cool to see what horses they come out with each season, knowing they do have a sales business that, you know, Erin will get to jump some horses in a big class, and then you'll see her on a whole new string the following week. Oof, that was unfortunately just maybe done a bit late, and the horse just ran out of room there, to be honest. This horse looks like it has a massive amount of scope. I think that she'll be jumping this horse in some big classes. Again, like we said, this is kind of a build-up for the rest of season, and I know that they're going to end up jumping this horse in some 5-star classes, and Elan's very excited about the future of this horse, which he should be. It jumped that so easily. That was just maybe getting to know the partnership a bit.
Exactly, like I say, it's going to be with their first time under the lights, etc. But and she's sort of the exception to the rule in that long spiel we just had about knowing horses for a long time. She's amazing that she will get on a horse,
go right into
and
a
5
class.
minutes later go, okay,
got it.
Got it.
It's a skill that is hard to have, and she definitely has it.
Mark Blumen now of Columbia and Conquer PS, winners of big class in Thermal in California just a few weeks ago. We were heading out there for 2 weeks of big competition with this mare by Contargas, the 11-year-old for Mark, who also had a fantastic run there, finished well in the $1 Million Grand Prix there. It's actually former rider Matt Sampson of Great Britain back to 2023, and Nick Pizarro in the mix as well, the Mexican Olympian. Going to be really interested to see how they perform tonight, because this is one that could come out of the pack.
Yeah, Margie just wins on everything he rides, to be honest. Doesn't matter what, but he will get a result on whatever he sits on. He's a fighter. He won the National Grand Prix, I believe, earlier today, so he's already on a high. So we have a couple wins from Colombia this week between Roberto Terán and Margie. He can just adjust his ride, like we said, to different horses magically. And most horses just fly for him. He's so talented. This horse looks a little unconventional with the way it likes to carry its head and go a little bit longer out in front of him, but it does not seem to matter. He still rides it so well, and it's jumping this beautifully. Maybe he just needs to shorten his reins a little bit coming towards home.
A little bit longer on those there. Coming home on the clear, time will be okay. And there we go. Knows how to deliver it. 75.61. And clear round number 7 of the list so far, Mark Blumen and Conquer PS. But we did. Should we say we did point that one out a little bit beforehand?
We did. Anything, most of the horses, if Marky's in the class, no matter what horse he's on, you can most of the time count on a clear round. And he is so fast in the jump offs. He does not, I remember he told me, he said, podium or the hospital. And I was like, I like to find a middle ground sometimes, but
all or
nothing.
Fine.
He's 100% game. So, you know, I jumped on some major league teams with him. So much fun to be on a team. We won the team event in Angelstone together. So he's so fast and fun to watch in the jump offs for sure. And to be on a team with him was exciting.
Mexico's Carlos Guerrero now, 24-year-old with H5 Origi Horta, the Belgian-bred horse by Casanova. Now 11 years of age as well for this pairing. They were top 4 in the San Miguel de Allende 5-star Grand Prix back in October of last year as well. Also had a good run in Thermal and in Mexico as well. at La Sierra and the shows in the run-up through that, what was now an established tour through Mexico too, which was great for
Yeah,
this year.
that was cool. And like
Yeah.
you said, he had a great result in that Grand Prix. I watched that actually on the live stream. He had a really nice success there. He always comes out with a really nice group of horses. He's young, but he's been jumping at this level for quite some time, so he seems so seasoned. But how old is he?
24.
24, right.
Yeah.
That's like a baby still.
We're balancing between babies at 24 and the experienced under 31s. Yeah. Going nicely so far.
And he actually just got engaged to Zoe Contour.
He did.
So that's
Congratulations to
exciting.
them.
Yeah.
She's heading out here as well.
Yeah. Power couple. I know he's looking at this. I'm sure he's looking at this class for setting himself up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he would have an eye on the 5 stars.
100%, especially with this horse. It's jumps us so easily. You can look at, barely looks like it's actually putting much effort into it. It's jumping it like just another day. That was a beautiful round.
Really nicely done. Gives us the 8th that clears Carlos Guerrero on H5, Margie Porter. But again, if you're planning your season at this point, this is a nice spot to hit, as you say, if you're leading up to the 5-star Grand Prix. And people will say, well, actually, that's a month away. Yeah, but the next one is probably getting into the NetJets Grand Prix, which is possibly a little bit closer than you want if you don't want to be going back to back.
Correct. It all starts now. You know, we start to plan, we meet with our students and myself and start to plan our season backwards in the beginning of December and work backwards. So it's all about planning.
I know this guy's 10 years older. I know he's over 31, but he had quite a good season last year as well as the new Olympic champion.
I would say so, yes. I remember when he won the Rolex Grand Prix here, and he was just on some high. He's unbelievable. This is going to be, I'm obsessed with watching him ride, to be honest with you, and I take everything I can and learn from him.
Well, great to have the world number 7 with us through the season, the new Olympic champion Christian Kukuk, the Beerbaum Stables Espoir Blanc Cristal, 11-year-old gaining by Vigo CC. Now, back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier on. I mean, fantastic experience with a horse that was produced with Nadia Peter Steiner of Switzerland and Philip Hartmann more recently in their team. But you know, he hasn't ridden this horse into this kind of atmosphere at all yet.
Right. I think this was his first or second week even showing the horse. So we'll see. But
I talked to him about it earlier.
Okay. Having the gold Olympic medal champion, I think you have the confidence and the ability to get on a horse that is also capable and know that you can.
Well, and I mentioned those names before, Nadia Peter Steiner, Philip Hartmann, you know, it goes back so much, and I know we talk about people that have produced the horses before, but they are so key.
Correct. To bringing this horse even to this level to make it possible.
This is sort of finished article.
Exactly.
Don't ignore where it's been in the before that.
Yep.
That's where the building blocks were.
Yep.
Christian just getting them back
he
balanced.
had to do a lot of he had to do a lot of work there. Unfortunately, then he paid for it. By the time he got to B, he pulled it quite hard to set it up for A, and then with that being said, then he had to add maybe a bit too much pressure in order to get to the B element, and in that reason he ended up having it down.
There we go, finishing on the 8 faults this time. Going to be a little bit too wide for time there. So he has a total of 978.38, but as putting it in context, first time for that pairing together out there. There's a lot of talent in there on that horse. Yeah,
horse and rider, and I'm sure we'll see you jump many classes and clear rounds. It's exciting to watch.
Yeah, and an amazing season for him last year, of course. Great to see him. And before anybody asks, you're welcome to ask, but I did ask him about Checker a little bit earlier on. Checker is here.
Okay, can't wait.
So Checker is going to be competing here as well. And so congratulations on an amazing season, and looking forward to seeing him in action this year. Gabriel de Manos Machado of Brazil, the Bay Winds Equestrians Niles. Pairing that jumped to Traverse City back in September as well. Also, it was briefly with Shane Sweetnam as well. And going to be really interesting to see, because Gabriel's had more and more opportunities with horses now coming through.
Yeah, he's been really getting experience in some of these bigger classes. Last year, I think he jumped almost all of the 5-star classes leading up to the Rolex Grand Prix, which was cool for him, and getting some great experience and exposure. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe the horse just got a little bit shy under the lights. It looked a little hard to turn. I've seen this horse in the past. I think you can see it right here. I was about to say, I think the rideability gets a little bit hard as the course goes on. It's a very big horse with a lot of power and a lot of stride, so I think that's just the one thing he has to think about managing. Got a good rub at A, and the horse reacted really nicely to carry him over through C. Ooh. I think it's a hard balance about letting the horse open its stride and take care of the time allowed while keeping the rideability under control. He's doing a good job right now. I think it's going to start to test him here the rest of the course now where it gets a bit careful. That was great. Jumped that great. You can see he's working hard, but he ended up figuring that one out and jumped that beautifully. That's where that angle on that jump got him. He actually set it up well, jumping at takeoff, and then that awkward angle, it looked like he just thought he had to take it a little bit more right than he maybe if needed to, and so it just came down on it behind, which is unfortunate.
Couple down there for time, 79.79. What's really interesting to hear is just catching it from the stadium is the groan. It was that,
oh, the disappointment.
Yeah, but that's what I love. That's
they're in it.
They're in it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he had the time faults from the beginning. You could see you want to always take care of the time in the beginning of the course so you can be patient and bring it home at the end if you're jumping clear. I think the little bit of the miscommunication when he landed from jump 1 is what caused the time faults, unfortunately.
Andrew Bourne's now, and as they mentioned in the arena there, former Grand Prix winner here on several occasions, including the NetJets Grand Prix, Tranquility Bay, and a horse that they've produced through as well, the Irish-bred horse by Emerald. Now 10 now for Andrew, based here in Wellington, Florida, and again would be in the number that they've bred over the years too. I mean, again, it's always that mix of breeding and purchase as well.
I've acquired a lot of horses from Andrew in my career for myself and my students. I've had amazing success. One of my best horses named Venice was from him. I rode for him and his father as a junior rider, so I've got to spend a lot of time with them, and they do a great job producing young horses, finding sale horses. One of my past students bought his best horse at the time, Darkido, and was super successful. We won some 2-star Grand Prix, some under 25 Grand Prix together, so it's a testament to the horses that he brings along. He does a great job.
And again, I was watching this one a few weeks ago with him, and again, it's interesting to see the excitement they have there as well, still, of going, I want to see how this horse goes in this, we're moving it up.
Exactly.
You're so much involved in it, and you've got so much invested it emotionally, I'm going to say, more than
sometimes makes it harder.
Yeah.
But when it goes well, then you really feel like you're doing the right thing, and it gives you some gratification.
Yeah. Couple down at this point, but again, it's a step up for the Andrew Bourne and Tranquility Bay on the score of 8 at 75, 38 from that point of view. Of course, it was produced with, ridden in Ireland with Joanne Blair, and then last season starting more of the FEI classes with Andrew.
Just started to rush a little bit coming towards home. Not that big of a deal, but I think by the time he got to see, same idea there, it just started to rush off the ground, and that's why I ended up having those down.
Now Nasser now of Egypt, American-based, and this is the Evergate stables of ESI Ali. Finished second in the Grand Prix qualifier, the Holiday and Horses show here back in November as well. Now 10 years of age by Staccato Gold, another Irish-bred horse, and was previously with Seamus Hughes Kennedy. And now, interesting, he was one. Now we're coming down into the top 12, which is what the class was for the winning round as it is now for the WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week, and he elected not to jump off. The only one that did that.
Yeah, he has such an amazing group of horses. He rides so well. Very successful. He doesn't need so much of an introduction, but I think that he knows his horses extremely well, and I think knowing
he's
that
through to Olympics.
Exactly. So I think knowing his horse, that if he had jumped it to go fast on Friday or Thursday would not have carried him over to today, knowing that today was the main goal. Tonight was the goal to try and jump clear and win. He jumped this horse in a couple of big classes in Spruce and had good results.
Yeah.
He has results everywhere on every horse. He does such a good job. His style of riding is beautiful to watch. He really allows the horse to jump. He never really interferes. Stays so still. He's a good example. He did that really nicely. That was great.
This is looking good.
Yeah, that was great.
Job done.
So his plan worked.
Yep. It is clear around number 9, Nal Nasa and ESI Ali. Lands them into the jump off, but stays a little fresher, having not jumped off earlier on this week. And again, they'll have made that decision again, like we talked about a little bit earlier on, depending on how horse is, what they want to do, the horse's program.
Yeah, and knowing that he's going to jump some 5-star classes and the 4 stars on this horse the rest of the circuit. The horse jumped an amazing first round the other day in the qualifier, so it clearly was a smart decision on his part to save it and set it up well for the Grand Prix, which paid off. He jumped that great.
Just nicely set up for the last. Cruises over it, takes it in their stride, literally easily enough. Ireland's Jenny Rankin now. Jenny with Ibiza, the horse that she's been producing through as well. 12 years of age, good experience here for this Dutch-bred gelding by Inshallah de Moose. And actually she's been behind over her career, this one for the Blackwood Group, but and now the Trinity Partners. She's been a terrific producer of horses with Andrew Bourne's going back. Like horses like Sea Top Blue, etc., that he won Grand Prix on, and now she's doing a little bit more of her own thing as well.
Yeah, she's an unbelievably talented rider at bringing up young horses as well as riding them at the top of the sport, because that's a very big difference, riding young horses and then being able to go and jump 150, 160. She actually produced one of my best horses that I bought from Andrew Bourne's named Venice.
Yeah.
So I think that was over 10 years ago, and I rode with Brian Goutal at the time. So I've been following her career. That was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Just a miscommunication. I think you had said in the beginning of the course about how tight you'd come for the time allowed to that. I think that she looked like she turned a bit early thinking about the time,
I need to get that. Because really, and I was talking over this with a couple of riders down there, that's sort of one of the very few spots that you can go, okay, I've got to make a bit up here.
Exactly. So it is quite far away after that 4-stride line. And I think she had committed to a plan, and the horse just maybe wasn't as committed to that. I don't think she's going to go back to that. I think she's going to save it for another day.
I say she's been stepping up under her own steam now, jumped in the World Cup qualifiers in La Coruña in Spain this season, and on the Nations Cup in Rabat in Morocco last year as well.
It's a very careful horse. You can see it actually goes with no back boots on at all, which at this level is not that common. So I think that was smart for her to save it for another day. She'll come back, a careful horse under the lights with a little mistake. You don't want to test them.
Sensible move, and we will stay at 9 clears so far in this Southern Arches Grand Prix tonight. Beezy Man about to head in. There she is with Nairobi. Horse actually that was produced with Irish rider Kelly Allen actually. This now 10-year-old mare by Casalco. Goes back to On the Dam Side Nouvelle Cuisine. Well, we'll see whether they're hungry for a win tonight. Owned by Abigail Wexner. Was coming out with Beezy in Traverse City mid through the season last year, and now for the multi-Olympic US rider, probably one of the best US has ever produced.
Yeah, like I was saying about Erin Ballard, same thing about Beezy. I mean, I've been watching her since I was starting to ride ponies since I was 6 years old as a idol and someone 31. To look under 31, as someone to look up to. My mom actually grew up riding with her in Chicago, so I've been hearing about her my whole life and my whole riding career, and you just basically want to emulate everything about her as a rider.
It again goes back to our discussion, like I said, WEF Weekly, and you reiterated here again. Come here, watch close up, have a riding lesson, and it doesn't have to be a Saturday night.
100%, any class, and especially in the warm-up ring.
Yeah.
You go and you can sit and have the opportunity to watch these riders and how they set up the horses for the ring, and then carry it over and walk up and watch them compete. you can just learn so many things every day in this sport and never know enough. So I really encourage anyone listening to do that.
There's great opportunities, like I say, to come and watch the Grand Prix qualifiers and all of those sort of classes.
Exactly.
That are here on a quieter time of the week.
You could see her at Beezy's experience in that triple. The horse started to get a little squirrely underneath her, and she just stayed so still and strong with her position and her contact with the horse's mouth. It ended up then jumping it very well. She got a little far away at the plank actually there, but again, her experience just backed her up, and she made it look like it was another day of the job. Horse is starting to jump a bit high, but she's making plenty of room to keep her leg off the ground. That was awesome. Good for her.
There we go. And to plenty of applause and cheer in the arena. They love seeing Beezy in action. And great to see her back on a Saturday night as well. Beezy Man with Nairobi this time.
I love watching her ride in anything, let alone jumping a Saturday night. Again, her experience is up there with Margie and McLean and the greats, and she's incredible to watch, so it's exciting.
Clear round number 10 as we progress through those in the upper stages of having qualified through our WEF Challenge Cup earlier on this week as well, but Beezy class act to watch all the way through. René Dittmer now. Former winner of the Grand Prix here in Wellington for the Holiday Inn Horses. Hampton Classic winner last year as well. And riding a horse that was been traditionally ridden by Isabella Ruskov in recent years as well. Jumpy Van de Hermitage for this mare by Toulon that's jumped right the way through the big 5 stars.
Yeah, this horse is awesome. Abdel Said used to ride it and then sold it to Isabella Ruskov, who actually I also compete for Israel internationally, so Isabella does as well. So I know her well and her string of horses. This horse is fantastic. Nice to get to see Renee get a turn on the horse as well. I'm sure it's nice for Renee to ride a horse with so much experience under his belt. So this should be exciting to watch.
Yeah, Abdul Said, the previous rider, of course, won back-to-back 5-star Grand Prix here in Wellington as well.
Yep. This horse's resume, I'm sure his passport is pretty thick.
But we've seen him having super runs with Corsica, and it's nice to see, you know, he's getting some more horses in the string to pan that out.
Exactly. It's hard when you have one horse at the top of the sport, so to back it up with a horse like this with so much experience is so awesome. Now, I'm not sure if Isabella's going to take the reins back over in the middle of WEF, but I'm sure Renee for right now is enjoying the time on it.
Yes. Here's the keys to the Ferrari.
Yeah. He rides so well and makes everything actually look so easy, although we know it's not. So this is super round. We may have more than 6 in our second half going.
Well,
here,
we did you know, hedge that that might be the case. Hindsight's brilliant. Okay, there is clear round number 11, René Dittmer and Jumpy Van der Hermitage. Again, although as a partnership, pretty light on experience together, but each with their own to bring to the table.
Exactly, and they made it look like they've known each other for a long time. Wow, gave a great effort over that oxer.
Yeah, really good to see. But as we say, as a pairing, not a huge surprise.
Not at all. With their resumes separately and now joined together, completely expected a round like that.
7 left to go in the first round of this $140,000 Southern Arches Grand Prix. Natalie Dean now, Con Calma for the Marigold Sport Horses of California. And fantastic year for her last year. She jumped in Aachen on the team. She went so fantastically in the Global Champions League as well, on the top team there for the Iron Dames. Well done to them on their huge successes as well. Wins in Brussels. Long list of those. Went very well with this horse here in November as well. It's actually a former ride of Steve Gerda of Switzerland. This mare by Casca Delo. Going to be very interested to see how they go today.
Yeah, she was actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first clear round in the qualifier the other day. And she jumped it fantastic in the WEF class. She did a really good job, or one of the the early ones that jumped clear.
Early ones,
and had a beautiful round. That was a bit unfortunate. I think she just looked in a little bit too soon there, and the horse came down on it behind. She has a great group of horses and a lot of animals to jump at the top of the sport, so I think bringing this one out early and then saving your other horses, since this one's a bit newer to her string.
There we go, finishing on the 8 faults there, and Natalie Dean and Con Calma. As you say, it's going to be a lot more to come from that pair, yeah.
Definitely, she's a mare with a lot of scope and a lot of power. It just looked like she got a little bit behind the leg, a little stuck at that oxer. After having Sia, this triple probably played a role in that next combination.
So into the tail end of the first round. Nicolette Hurt and the Chatwood Farms of here in Wellington. I think Nicolette hailing originally from California direction as well, the 26-year-old. And for all those in California as well, we're sending our best too for all that's been going on there over the last few days. Fandora now. Fandora, that has been with her since midway through last year as well, was the Leslie Wolf of Germany. Good week for them so far. She's also been placed with Chatu 7 and went well here in November. Let's see how it goes, but she's really had a good form week this so far.
Yeah, I really like this horse. I've been watching it since she got it. It's really light. It's so game, super athletic. Her and David, her trainer, have a great partnership with working with one another. She's been jumping at a high level and producing a lot of clear rounds, which is exciting for her. So it'll be nice to see what she can do this winter.
Yeah, just touches in the 4 in the triple combination.
Interesting to see now how in the second half of the course some of the rails and the combinations and the lines almost look like they're riding a bit different from the beginning of the class now to the end. So it's almost becoming like a different class now here in the second half.
I'll come back to that one in a second. Just coming in on the 4 faults at the moment, and it's going to have that one as well. Nicolette and Fandora again. Not a million miles on the clock between those two so far. Good to see just coming out on the 8 2 times, 79-12. As you say, I'm going to be really interested to watch that pair develop this season.
Yeah, it's a really scopy, capable, nice horse, lovely animal, looks beautiful to ride. So it'll be cool to see what they end up doing together. Just a bit too deep there.
Yeah.
Jump B and C, fantastic after that.
Just a little touch there. Leaves us 5 left to go. Nick Delorier just sending in final words to Caroline Mawhinney and Car CZ, the Zangazide horse by Cartino. Been jumping together since November 23. Caroline, who's again in the teenage years, 19 years of age, silver medal in Young Riders before now on 2 occasions as well. Also, I think hailing from the West Coast originally, now based here in Wellington.
Yeah, she's a spectacular young talent, that is for sure. I have a couple junior students that compete in the same divisions as her. Obviously not at the professional level, but she's always definitely one you want to keep an eye out for and watch her plan if you go after her and try and follow it. She is so fast. I know that she rides with Jess Mendoza, who is also so brave and fast and a fantastic rider. So she's really learned a lot from her. They've gotten her some great horses to jump some big classes, and she's just thrived. Like we said before, putting yourself up against the best makes you better. And I think that's been very clear with a young rider like this. It kind of raised her game and forced her to learn a bit faster,
and
maybe.
she's sort of done classes that you went, well, let's see, that's a big class to be doing.
Let's see what she can do, and she's 100%. And again, I think she's learned a lot from those classes and then became a better rider from it for sure. I spent some time with her in Europe on the Developing Young Rider Tour. I had a student on her team, so getting to know them a little bit more on a intimate level there. She's works super hard and is so into the sport. So it's going to be exciting. I think she's going to be in this for the rest of her life. It'll be fun to watch her career. That was great.
Leaves the last. Caroline Mawhinney and Garcia Z will put themselves in the jump off as well. There's our 12. Leaves us 4 left to go. And again, she just has that wonderful ability, as you say. She's been jumping these since 17, 18. I mean, again, she can only start to build up with those because the rules will only allow you to go so far up the ranks as a teenager from that point of view. But I mean, she just seems to be comfortable with it. She's cool under pressure.
And I have to say, the horses that she has are really great matches to the way that she likes to ride. So when you gel well with a nice horse and you put a rider on that's game and brave and talented, then it makes up to be successful.
Jimmy Turano now for the Isaloo Incorporated and Jet Show Stables. Chewbacca HCC. Jimmy, who's a regular here, of course, at Wellington, has been producing this horse through again and again. Has a great time with his 13-year-old. And again, has jumped World Cups, has jumped some massive classes on this, and usually pretty consistent too.
Yeah, this horse has so much scope. Again, like you said, he's jumped big classes. I think he can bring this out and jump whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Jimmy's record is a mile long, and he's so into the sport and the hunters, jumpers, equitation. His son is obviously killing it. I think it's the only way you can, JJ with the equitation finals and junior jumpers. So it's it obviously is in his blood, and Jimmy and Danielle as well, who is an amazing rider, have really brought him along well. And so I think it's cool now to see them doing this sport as a family entirely. And
don't forget the mums. Cool. That's the point, because so many of them.
I said Danielle. She's an amazing rider.
Exactly.
I won't.
Never walk past the man.
Remind my son that. This horse is jumping fantastic. Looked like actually he's changed the bridle from what it normally has gone in the past. So just maybe the tweak of equipment has got him on track, and the horse is jumping amazing. This is a great round. I know he has to think a little bit about time allowed on this horse. Looks like he has plenty of time to spare.
He should be okay.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good for him.
There we go. Pushes for the line. 76.48 for Jimmy Turano. Clear round number 13 out of the pack so far. And again, just dropped into the groove and off they went.
Yeah, that was great. Again, like we said, he's jumped this horse for a while in big classes. So, sometimes horses get used to a certain bridle or a certain boot or a certain way you ride them, that you've been doing it for so long that even though they're older in season, changing things up can make just the slightest difference. So looks like that was the right idea, and it jumped amazing.
Irish rider Nicky Gallagher, one of 3 left to go. VDL Nikita for the Santa Rosa group. And again, he's learnt much of his trade, both West Coast and East Coast. Great picture there, Nicky, by the way. And again, he went so fantastically well earlier on this week. His first Saturday night, he was telling me earlier on as well. Great to see him as part of this. Went well in the Grand Prix here in November, and in Socrates in July as well. Top 3 in the WEF Challenge Cup. Going to be really interested to see how this pair get on.
Yeah. Oh, that was too bad, unfortunate there. Early rail. Let's see how the rest pans out. But he's a fighter. He's such a strong rider. He had that really nice chestnut mare that he won a big class on at the Hampton Classic, I remember, and that kind of put him into the bigger levels and got him quite noticed. So I think it's exciting for him. It's exciting to see him back in these classes and qualify for a Saturday night class. It's always a big deal. So.
Just started to get a little forward there.
Yeah, again, jumping into the rail at night, into the crowd. That's a hard jump. That plank has come down. I think the majority, the most rail, probably the most faults of the class, I think, have been at that plank right now, it seems like.
Yeah, finish on a total of 12 there, 72.41 for Nicky Gallagher and VDL Nikita. But like we say, first time stepping up here, jumped superbly on this way, earlier on this week as well. Java's Miss Jordan, I think.
Java's Miss Jordan, that was it. Yep.
Nicky Gallagher there, finishing But I think there'll be more for them for this season.
100%. He's just getting started.
Just getting started. And as you say, great. He has a great attitude. Will get there and get it done. And really, when it comes down to fighting for a class, he's a real
the guy.
roll the sleeves up.
100%. Yeah, definitely. It's fun to watch him in the ring.
2 left to go in the first round. Ireland and Colombia. Shane Sweetenham first of those. And the world number 17 with Corian van Klapshoot on a 9-year-old gelding here by Comil Faux. Comil Faux, if you're not following through, was a very good horse ridden by Marcus Enning, which was out of, going back to the mare, was Retina Z, which won
most important
a horse that won 2 gold medals with 2 different riders.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, there you go. I know the 2. I'll let anyone else know the 2. I'll tell you at the end of this. Shane Sweetenham, the VoQuest team's horse, won his 2nd American Gold Cup last year as well. Horse that actually was with Stephanie Holman of Sweden. He's a rider who's jumped on Nations Cups for Sweden as well. Going to be interested to see how they perform here.
Yeah, this is a newer ride, like we said to Shane, owned by VoQuest Group, which includes Ashley Vogel, and this is exciting. Like we said, they interchange horses, so maybe she'll end up riding this horse at some point in her career. Right now, Shane's doing it. Shane's a amazing rider and father, and has an amazing business at the same time. Somehow he can juggle all cards, but I think he probably feels the same as I do, that we're lucky to follow both of our passions, which is riding and teaching, and can figure out how to manage both at the same time and hopefully have both be successful and positive. But I think he's a very good example of that. He's having a good round. I think the horse, that was an unfortunate rail there, maybe just got a bit green there as well. I think we'll see a lot from this pair. I know that this was their first time under the lights, and it's been jumping very well in the daytime here, so I think we just need to warm up into this atmosphere a bit, and we'll see more from them.
So finishing on the 874.01, 1 left to go. Shall I do the boring bit on Retina Z? Pete Ramakers Jr., Ludger Beerbaum both rode 2 gold medals with her. Was bred by Leon McClure, who obviously founded the Zangazida stud as well. So it was a horse that absolutely runs through the
See, we have good
blue
knowledge before my time. I'm in the under 31
under
group.
31
so.
group. For the over 31 group, that's what happens. As the under 31s would say, Google it.
I was about to actually go look at my phone and do that.
The over 31s would say, go and get a book and look it up. Roberto Turan is the last to go in the first round. 2 wins already for him this week for the Rocking Basilisk Farm Iron Maiden. This gelding by Clarimo, now 10 years of age. They were second in the Dinar Grand Prix Derby last year as well, out there on the grass. Jumped in Aachen. Really fabulous horse to look at. Was one that actually came from Gonzalo Busca of Spain. The Colombian rider is ridden at Olympics and World Championships. And you and I were discussing this beforehand as well. Really like the look of this horse, and we were talking about how I saw this horse as a young horse as well, and he was really high on it then too.
Yeah, this horse has just looked like a superstar from the beginning. Honestly, I watched it jump the Young Horse Final in Tryon, I think 2 years ago, and it's so athletic and so conventional and light across the ground. Has everything that a top show jumping horse that you want it to have. It's brave, it's careful. Roberto rides fantastic, has so much experience. So similar to what we were saying about Renee and Jumpy, you put the 2 together and it can make a really exciting pair. I know that he's really high on it, as he should be. I think everybody in this crowd that knows horses on the live stream and in this class are quite drooling over this animal at the moment. I am.
Love a grey as well.
Yeah, she's beautiful. This would be a pretty baller week if he
could
bring
go
this
for all
home.
3,
Yeah, a hat trick. That looked like easy.
There we go. He will put himself into the jump off his last to go, and is the 14th clear in this Southern Arches $140,000 Grand Prix. He could go for the triple of winning the Thursday WEF class, the Friday Speed, and the Saturday night Grand Prix as well. Sid, your take on this horse in that round?
Jumped amazing, jumped beautifully, pretty.
Give me more superlatives. She's looking around.
I'm looking around. I mean, you can't really ask more from the horse, and Roberto set her up fantastic. So obviously he's going to be thrilled, but whatever he's doing is working because he's having a hell of a week.
He is having an amazing week from that point of view. Roberto Terán adds another chance to go for a win here in Wellington. Week 1 is going very much in his direction. Winner of the Grand Prix here last year was Ben Mayer and Anjou. There is the list, well, not the complete list, 14 of them come back. Francisco Goaga Molet will go first for Spain, then a run for the United States with Ansgar Hodges Jr., Hallie Grimes, Charlotte Jacobs, Lily Keenan, McLean Ward, Mark Blumen then for Colombia, Carlos Guerrero for Mexico, Nal Nassar for Egypt, BZ Madden of the US, of course, Rennie Dittmer of Germany, Caroline Mawhinney of the USA is the first 12. Couple more to add into the mix there as well, which will be really interesting to see with Jimmy Turano and Roberto Terán to complete that lineup. Nick Granite just coming onto your shot there was our course designer here this week as well. He's just putting the touches to the fences for the jump off here too. Looking forward to that. And the lights shining out over the bridge here at Wellington International. There we go. 13 Jimmy Turano and 14 on the list being Roberto Terán to come into the mix here as well. Looking forward to this. It's going to be a really interesting jump off to go with this as well. Love the early Grand Prix in the season as well, to really sort of give an idea of what to expect from the season here in Wellington as well. And we're going to be taking a short break in a moment as well as we set up for the jump off of this Southern Arches Grand Prix here tonight. Exciting stuff on the table, and 14 in the shake-up.
Bainbridge is a fully integrated multifamily real estate company that has developed and acquired more than 43,000 units, representing $8.1 billion in transactions since its inception. With over 650 associates nationally, Bainbridge engages in virtually every step of the real estate process, from development and construction to acquisition and disposition, asset management, and third-party management of multifamily real estate. Bainbridge is the 20th largest multifamily developer and 19th largest multifamily builder in the United States. Our team of experienced and knowledgeable professionals are devoted to creating exceptional living experiences for all of our residents and building lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with our partners and clients. Bainbridge is headquartered in Wellington, Florida, with offices and apartment communities in Florida, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, Maryland, and Texas. To learn more, visit www.thebainbridgecompanies.com.
From no-drill mud flaps and water-repellent seat protectors to our laser-measured floor liners, WeatherTech has everything you need. Order yours today at WeatherTech.com, the ultimate protection for your vehicle.
Alongside me, Sid Schulman. This was one of the really nice rounds out of the group.
Amazing all summer long, so it's exciting to see him come here and continue, and I don't think it'll be a surprise as it keeps continuing through his career. I'm excited for Charlotte and to watch.
Lily Keenan, Le Louvre 5. Less experienced horse for her coming into the 5-star Grand Prix. She has got plenty of time under the lights.
Yeah, and this horse looks like a very fast horse, so
going to be very interesting to see from that point of view. Lily Keenan into the shake-up there from that side of things. And then, of course, it is to her teacher as well, McLean Ward with High Star Hero.
this horse's stride is huge. McLean's so obviously so fast and competitive, so this will be awesome to watch. It's actually a great jump off for this horse, so I'm looking forward to seeing him.
McLean Ward rarely away from the top few for the world number 8. In with a newer ride, as I say, that came out last season for them. Going to be really interested to see that one. And then getting us into the second half of the class. Mark Blumen, Conor PS. Said he's not going to be trying.
For 100%, you can count on him. I have a feeling he's going to be giving it his all, and this horse looks really speedy in game, so this will be fun to watch.
Fun one to take a run at, and Carlos Sanguerrero of Mexico, and this is the H5 Sport Horses, H5 Orange Horta, returning after some really good results in Mexico last year. Going to be interesting to see how this pair fare.
This horse jumps a lot of clear rounds. I don't know if it's the fastest one in the class, but I think you can count on it jumping a good double clear round.
It will be a really good solid pair to go for the clears. Yeah. From then on in, Niall Nasser and ESI Ali. They look as though they have got some potential speed in there.
Yeah, Niall is dangerous in a jump off. He can go so fast and win so many classes, and this horse is right there with him.
Beezy Madden, Nairobi.
She's awesome. We can count on her to be competitive. And this horse I know is a little bit, newer to her jumping at this level, so we'll see how much of a risk she takes.
Then heads on to that of René Dittmer and Jumpy van der Hermitage. Experience on both sides of the column. Now they're in the same column. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch him in the jump off. He can let it rip. This horse has a ton of experience.
Caroline Mawini is also into that jump-off lineup with Car CZ, joins Jimmy Turano and Roberto Turan in that lineup for the jump off as well. Jimmy Turano will go the penultimate combination with Chewbacca HCC, and then finally the man who's been on 2 wins already this week with Roberto Turan of Colombia and Iron Maiden back in the mix and looking for his 3rd win of the week. Can he do it? We will see. We're going to take a look at the course set by Nick Granite for the jump off here, brought to you by Fidelity Investments, and here we go. Down under the bridge, that's taken for granted, and we start over what was the triple bar at 8. Now our start off fence here, then we swing left-handed to 3 after that, so coming to the vertical across the centre, and 2 there to the white wings, and then right down the arena to the horseshoes at fence 5. Now this was 150, 160 before. Roll back here, and we talked about this turn here, a little bit of where you can play with this. Now the last part of the triple combination being taken away, 6A and B, the first 2 parts here with a 1 stride distance there. Turn back to fence 15, that was 9B, and that's a vertical aim to be this time, and turning back to fence 12, the blue Liverpool, and finally down to the same fence to complete the course, the Wellington International fence, and that will be the last on the track. Good test of loops and running there. Thank you to Fidelity Investments once again, who bring us our tour of the courses each time. And here's our lineup of those going in the jump off. Sid Shulman Desideri alongside me. Where's your money going?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't ask me.
I knew you would. I will let you go in several directions. I'll be kind. I'll be kind. Who's
I
your
think
top
you
3?
could go
top
with
3 in any order.
Okay, any order. McLean, Roberto, Markey.
That's 3.
Niall.
That's 4.
Renee,
That's
Charlotte,
5.
Lily.
That's cheating. That is cheating. Okay, I'm taking your first 3. Okay, let's get into the jump off now for Spain's Francisco Gawaga Molet. Paco with the Sigma Stables PST Demuse. Tough one going first, but we've probably talked about this a lot now as well. Okay, you get an advantage going last, you feel, because you can see where you're going. But there's almost as much these days of going first in the pack too.
I prefer going first. I have a little bit in the back of my mind, like make them chase you.
Yes.
If you have a fast horse and you're a fast rider and can jump clear, obviously. And then you just stick to your own plan. You stick to it. You have nothing to get in your back of your mind on a certain number somebody else did. So let's see what he does here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the lead out. So he's obviously putting full pedal to the metal. That was a good ride there. It's a great jump off for a big strided horse. There's a lot of ground to cover. That was incredible. Paco is going for it. That was that was too bad. I thought for a moment
I
maybe
thought he got away with it too.
Yeah, and then he just looked right, and then the horse just got it behind. Good rub at the end. That was good. He had to go for it. He went first, like we said, and stuck to the plan. I think those are the same numbers that we're going to see with the bigger strided horses. 1 to 2 in 8 strides is quite aggressive. I'm not sure it's for everybody, but I think it's for the horse of the stature of McLean, Jimmy Turano, Renee, those bigger strided animals. I'm not sure if it's made for everybody.
And you can see there he was sort of trying to slither on that vertical. He got it going the one way, and then he's trying to get the other way at the same time.
It's set out a little bit in front of you, so as you're galloping across the ring, I'm not sure if you can tell on the live stream, you also have to fade out a bit at the same time. I think that the angle maybe caught him by surprise, that takeoff.
19-year-old Ansgar Holches Jr. and the Gut Einhaus owned Good Morning B for Grand Prix winner already here at Wellington last season. That he didn't have to jump off for. Now he's in the mix for this one.
Again, he's so young, and so that was the 9. So exactly, this horse in my mind wouldn't be one to do the 8. Look at the stature of its size of stride and body compared to the other horse. So 9 matches this horse's size of stride. That was a bit unfortunate.
Flick out there puts them on the 4 for Ansgar early on.
He did a good job about using the track there a little bit better to stay out. Not sure if that was his plan originally since he had one down, but he understood a little bit where the jump was set, maybe better than Paco did in the beginning.
They're going to leave them on the 8 faults, 44-79, 8 faults for Ranskar Holchers Jr. and Good Morning B. So the door is still wide open. Francisco Guaga Molet on the 4 at 40.38. And that's the interesting thing when you see a jump off start to unfold, is that you sometimes start off all pedal to the metal and realize that actually sometimes it needs a little bit more backing off.
Exactly. Yeah, he just kept pushing there, and like we said, it was just too deep there. I think he thought maybe, okay, fast forward, like you had said, and then, yeah, I need to just rein it in.
US rider Hallie Grimes now, the Can We Keep It ride of Chiqueto PS from her barn.
This horse should do 8, 1 to 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, this is exactly the kind of horse that would set up for a jump off here to do a leave out stride. She's just minding herself a bit there, which is smart to set herself up before she rolls back on this double. I love this horse.
I'm not surprised.
That was great.
Coming to the last to go first clear and in the lead at this very early stage, Hallie Grimes and Chiqueto PS get the job done.
That was awesome. I think there will be faster horses in the class, but to, again, start off season with a double clear round just like that, and it was so well ridden. Both of her rounds were beautiful, and the horse could not have jumped better from our view. So I think that she'll be really excited about that. She did a great job.
Nicely done to lead so far, but as you say, 42.78. We saw Paco around in 40.38. There's definitely room in there. This is where it might start to sharpen up a little bit as well. Charlotte Jacobs and the Northstar team's Playboy.
This horse has a huge stride, but an unbelievable jump at the same time. So it'll be interesting because I think she has to definitely think about staying fast because he does spend quite some time in the air.
Interesting looking at the breeding there. Plot Blue and Presley Boy, both that jumped at the top 5-star level from that point of view. So some good ingredients in there.
Yeah. And I'm sure the mother side is also fantastic.
Absolutely. Right. Shall winding up.
She walked the 8. Like you said, it has a huge stride. Maybe not the fastest horse, so I know she knows she has to make up time, and she is an extremely fast rider. So them together, she sees a big one there. That was very impressive. That was extremely quick. She's going for it.
And this is one of the key ones. She gets that, really gets a good move over that.
She did 9 there, which was really far away, but he caught up with her, and that was awesome.
Oh, this is going to be well ahead.
Yeah, that was awesome. Good for her. See, I threw her in there with my groom. That'll be hard to beat. She used the horse's stride to her advantage and almost did 2 less strides on the rollbacks if you're counting comparatively to Hallie, who was our one to compare to. But that was unbelievable. Yeah,
nearly 3.5 seconds difference. Charlotte Jacobson, Playboy, go ahead at 39.31. But nicely over the last, but probably the vertical before where you've got to really sort of twist and turn. They really did get athletic and over that, didn't they?
Yeah, and pretty impressive rolling back on that Liverpool. That was very bold. I think she set up the tan vertical before the Liverpool cautiously, and then trusted the horse and really trusted the scope and his braveness to leave that one out to Liverpool was impressive.
Lily Keenan now, the US team rider from New York with the Charleston Farms Le Louvre 5. Again, we're in territory I don't know with this horse. It'll be interesting to see.
Correct. It's a very fast horse. You can tell by its build and its stature, and Lily's a fast rider, so I'm interested to see what her plan is here. So she did the 8, so she's going with the big stride on a fast horse, so already this should put her bit similar on the same path as Charlotte. Wow, gave an incredible effort there. That was amazing. You could hear Lily clucking a bit of encouragement there so it didn't get stuck in the air off the ground. That was great.
Time-wise, might be a little bit of a struggle here.
She did 10 there. Charlotte did 9 on the rollback, and then she ended up catching up.
Yep, there we go. 39.98 was just a fraction behind there for Lily Keenan and Lelouve 5. But again, you'd be very happy with that.
Super exciting. That horse jumped great in the first round and pretty amazing in the jump off. So it already looks like she's getting more comfortable at this height and level with him, getting to know him more. And that was awesome. Jumped great. Jumped this double incredible here. Wow.
And she was just able to put a little bit of pressure on there, and the answers were made, weren't they?
Exactly. That was awesome. That was great.
McLean Ward, Mike and Wendy Smith's high star hero. Be very interesting to see here what this pair do as well. And I think this is going to be a good gauge of how they will perform looking ahead to the rest of the season as well, because I would expect some big things here. This is a really sort of good early test for this pair together.
Yeah.
From that point of view, like you say, they started so well in the Hamptons, but sometimes you get that very early start that's a good golden patch, and then it settles down, and then now you sort of say, well, okay, where are we going?
He's definitely not one to not try and win, so
No.
it'll definitely be a good gauge for us for their class as well, and see. I think he's going to use his horse's size of stride to his advantage.
McLean has a lot of medals, not many of them participation there for winning.
So he did one less there, just like Charlotte. Oof, that was a bit lucky there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's on the same strides as her.
There's a very good chance. You can see the clock counting down as well.
8, wow, he did
He's
8
got
strides
seconds to
home.
spare.
Okay, that's where he's just masterful. When I walked it, I said, I actually said this to my husband. I said, maybe if you're McLean, you'd do 8 home.
Yeah.
He did 8 home.
You
I
did
don't
8
think
home.
that's for everybody.
There's your crystal ball. There it is.
I don't think that's for everybody, but I had said early on that a horse with this size of stride and with the rider of his experience, and obviously he's incredible, that he could just commit to it and did it. That was awesome.
Nice shot there. He was having a little chat with Nick Granite, the course designer, on the way out there. Nick beaming at that as well. He enjoys seeing that coming together.
That was really awesome.
So 1.383 seconds ahead, as you can see on the clock there. 37.92 from McLean Ward. High star hero.
This will be hard. That'll be hard to beat.
Okay, buckle up. Here we go. Mark Blumen and Conquer PS. Like I say, very good winners of a class in Thermal in California a few weeks ago at the Desert Horse Park there as well. As you said a little bit earlier on, he can be really exciting to watch because he will go.
This is a really different type of horse than McLean's.
Yeah.
It's much smaller, much shorter, coupled from head to tail. It carries itself much differently. So it'll be interesting to see what Margie ends up being able to do here. Walk the 8. 9, 10. The same number as McLean. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Same as McLean. Charlotte did actually 9 there, so he's pretty fast right now.
All tight.
Oh, man. That was brave.
That was going for it. This is going for it. It's going to run very, very
5,
close.
6, 7,
Mark Blumen,
8. Go on,
Conquer
Margie.
PS. No.
Wow. He gave it a good effort. To be honest with you, I think by the countdown of the clock, he was up, but I think being a very bull to that vertical, he paid the price, because when he landed, it disrupted the rhythm.
It loses you that split
he lost
second.
exactly, so then he had to play catch up for a moment there, but that was impressive. He's very athletic, Margie. Let alone the horse is very athletic, but Margie himself, the way he can contort his own body to stay on like that and keep going, I mean, he's amazing. That was really cool. I think I'm assuming he'll be excited with that result.
He goes into second. Mark Blumen and Conquer PS. McLean Water leads on 37.92. Marquis on 38.24. Charlotte Jacobs in third, 39.31. Carlos Sancarero now and the 24-year-old from Mexico, age 5, Margie Porter. Now, we talked about this one a little bit earlier on. Good stride. Very good mare of this horse, actually, Irenaeus Porter, that went to the very top as well with several very good riders. But may not necessarily have the natural flat pace speed for this.
Yeah, the stride is massive, a little bit of a slower mover at the canter, but it obviously is so capable and jumps amazing. It covers so much ground, though, similar to McLean. So, 2, 3, 4. He's done the same number as Margie and McLean has done. Same there as well. Just got a bit far away from for him, so the horse had the back rail up front, which means he just didn't get across enough.
But he sort of took the pace off coming to the angle there and just then let the horse just pop over that.
Exactly.
That vertical.
Which actually set him up for a better jump at the Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, you know, it depends where you want to take your risk. If you want to risk it at the vertical or risk it at the Liverpool, whichever your horse, that's where it comes into what suits your horse better, or as a rider, which is your weakness or your strength. And then you can choose which one you're going to risk more. I would choose the vertical. I'm not going to risk it at a Liverpool Ox, personally.
Take your pick.
Yeah. Pick your poison.
Yeah. Little touch there going into the double. Not much of one. Still some solid rounds, though, for Carlos Guerrero and H5 Margie Horton. Not quite working out in the jump off. It is on to Nalnasa now of Egypt. Still a good few to come yet. Beezy Man, Rene Dittmer, Caroline Mawini, Jimmy Turano, Roberto Turan to complete Nalnasa and ESI Ali on this 10-year-old. And again, this is a chance to really unleash now and see what this pair do.
Yeah, don't count him out. He's so fast and such a good rider. This horse is fast and big strided, so I think this could give McLean a run for his money. I'm excited to watch. That was fast. Same numbers. Same numbers, but this horse's canter is actually a bit faster than McLean's. So although they're doing the same amount of strides, this horse's feet move a bit faster. Yep, and now let's see.
Tight in, 1 to go. 4, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1. Is it enough?
Oh yeah, he's got it.
37.35, just a fraction under there for Nalnasa and ESI Ali. So he takes the lead over McLean Ward, 37.35 against 37.92. Mark Blumen in third, 38.24. Nalnasa now leads.
Not surprising.
No, not surprising at all, like you say. Ali lands a good punch there against the scores of those so far, and leaving us with 5 left to go in the jump off. But like you say, just had that little extra foot speed.
Yeah, so they actually did the exact same numbers between every single jump if you're counting. Yeah. So although I know you don't really start to, when you walk the course, counting rollback numbers, but now when it comes down to it, it really matters, and that's where you end up getting an edge.
0.6 of a second
Correct.
difference, but that's...
So it matters, right?
Matters, yeah.
So Niall's horse's foot speed is naturally quicker than McLean's, and that's, to be honest with you, the only way that he ended up getting an edge.
But it's fascinating the level of the sport there that you're talking about. All of that, and you're talking about 0.6 of a second. You're not talking about 6 seconds, you're talking 0.6 of a second. Beezy Madden, always a delight to watch. And here we go with Abigail Wexner's Nairobi. Like I say, how she'll play this, I'm not sure.
So off the bat, she did 9 there. So I think, again, this horse started to jump quite careful in the first round. So I think Beezy's being smart and setting the horse up for a good future, especially for long term.
Yes.
For the rest of its career, but as well as for the rest of the circuit going forward. I don't think that right now maybe this horse is ready to go as fast as Niall or McLean's horse regardless. So Beezy is giving it just a good ride and setting it up for future events. That was just unfortunate. It had that vertical down behind. A little bit hard to tell from our angle, from where we're watching on the camera, on why it came down, but the horse jumped a nice round.
Just on the 4:45.89. Delighted to have her back on the Saturday night. BC Madden and Nairobi, like you say, it's a developing pair.
100%. You could tell it was clear.
Yeah.
Even the way that she rode her first round, she was giving a riding lesson out there for all of us watching and the horse.
Always happy for that.
I think that's just maybe an experience off the ground, thinking about what was next for the horse. But another day, I think she'd clear that if she didn't.
And again, as you say, from a horse's experience, you're thinking about where, and the horse is thinking about where all the elements are, where are all my feet, where is all happening, as opposed to when you've done it a lot, it becomes instinct again.
Exactly.
Jumpy van der Hermitage for the Suave Pony and Isabella Ruskov. In the saddle is René Dittmer of Germany, the Hampton Classic winner.
This one can
They
shake things up.
They both are capable of doing it.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen them do it together. So again, we're a little in unknown territory.
Almost looked like for a moment he was thinking he was going to do one less stride there and then maybe change his mind. I'm not sure what his plan was originally, but just maybe the interruption of the canter and again not knowing each other maybe as well there. Seems there may be a miscommunication.
Coming home on the 8 faults for René Dittmer and Jumpy van der Hermitage. There we go. It is going to be over the line in 41.67, but like we say, I mean, they've both been and done it. They just haven't necessarily done it together, and sometimes, as you say, that's where the communication, that those little tiny signals don't quite yet make sense to each other.
Yeah, as a partnership, you know how much leg, how much hand you need.
Yeah.
The more you do this, and they have not. So I think that they'll both learn from this and grow.
It's like any other relationship. It takes a long time before you're at the point where you're finishing each other's sentence.
Exactly.
So it is a big moment now for Caroline Mawhinney of the USA, the 19-year-old with Car CZ. Again, I'm going to throw it on the table that she will not hold back here. She could take them to town yet.
And to be perfectly honest with you, my horse Villamora, that is a very fast horse, is very similar type. On horses like these with this much blood, you don't really have an option. They just go fast all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's actually easier to just let them go fast rather than to try and control them too much. So this horse's stride is huge, but the gallop is so fast. So you can see, I mean, she's blazing, but also covering so much ground. So this is definitely going to be super competitive. She did one more stride there. Let's see what she does here. That was too bad.
Again, you're sort of trying to get in the left where you're also trying to go right.
Exactly, and if you can see the jump from the right angle, it is set out, again, like I said, in front of you. So when you're galloping across the ring, it does come up quicker than you're expecting it to. So if you see something that's a bit deep, you actually end up deeper than you think to the jump, which is exactly what happened here. She was just underneath it. So you either have to fade out one more stride or do one less stride at that takeoff in order to clear it on that angle at that speed. So this horse with the size of stride, and with the information and knowledge Jimmy has, I think that this could also be very competitive. It's a bit of a slower horse, but he uses the stride to his advantage, like we had said earlier, to do these leave-out numbers. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Jimmy Tarana, then Schumacher HCC. One of two left to go. Roberta Taran just left after this. It is Northstar leading with ESA Ali on 37.35. As you say, he's got to take a different tact.
Yeah, I think he maybe has to take a wider route to keep going fast because the horse is going to walk number. He's slowing down for the same number. So wow, that was an amazing jump. 10. Yeah, just came in on it maybe a little bit too soon. I'm not sure. Again, from our angle head on, it's hard to see. He looked committed to it. Maybe it wasn't what he wanted.
home on the 4 faults for Jimmy Torano. Top 3 to remain unchanged with 1 left to go. Still a nice round overall from Jimmy and Chewbacca.
You have to give also some credit to these grooms if you're looking at these horses right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this horse specifically, its coat is unbelievable. It's so shiny. I mean, these horses are turned out unbelievably, and we know that doesn't go unnoticed. These horses at the top of the level, they're the grooms that help behind the scenes really put in so much time and effort.
Yeah.
These are like their children, at least to my grooms with my horses and my staff. So it's definitely noted.
No, and that's no exaggeration. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Looking fabulous as well is our final pairing to go, and that's Roberto Turan of Colombia, the Rocking Basilisk Farms Iron Maiden. He's won twice already this week. He's going for a third. The horses look fantastic all week as well. The door is there. It's I want to go say it's open. It's slightly ajar still, but only slightly.
I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen.
37.35 to beat for Roberto Turan. And I was talking to him earlier, and he said, you know, you get those weeks where you just start to really feel on form, and you feel it come through, and it does give you that confidence. And whatever happens here, he will take a good shot at this.
So very fast horse, obviously, with a normal size stride, so he can keep these leave-out numbers very fast, which is an advantage.
Got to get this right.
All right.
That's the really hard one. Time-wise, well, he's eased a little at the last there in the end, but he's going to be good. He's going to have it down. But again, 38 seconds the overall time, so 0.655 the difference there as well.
I think he would have done 8 if he had been going clear.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I think there would have been just a little bit more of a push at the end from that point of view. I'm still very excited to see that horse through the season.
Yeah, it's a really exciting up-and-coming horse, and I'm sure he is thrilled to continue the rest of the season with this horse.
And so, not quite to be, he's already picked off 2 wins, but the winning combination is Nal Nassar and the Evergate Stables ESI Ali here tonight. And so it is a win for the Egyptian rider. And it is now heading out our presentation team. McLean Ward finishing in second with High Star Hero. Top 3 for Mark Blumen and Conquer PS. It is fourth for Charlotte Jacobs in the end with Playboy JTZ. It is fifth to Luluva 5 and Lily Keelan. Hallie Grimes will finish in 6th place in the end, Chicato. And 7th to Caroline Mawini, Car CZ. She will also get the leading lady rider award as well. We're going to take a look at the winning round here. So let's take a look at this one from, of course, Nal Nassar as we complete those within our top 20. But here we go. Let's take a look at this and how it played out in retrospect.
I think I said my top 5 riders ended up being top 5. I'm just saying. But yeah, he was just off the bat from the start on a good gallop. And like I said in the first round, he never interrupts the horses. He stays on such a high rhythm and makes little fine tunes to adjust based off of where he is, to just never shut the canter down or interrupt the rhythm. And he finds everything out of a gallop all the time. And that's why he's the fastest. That was amazing there. That horse gave an amazing effort at the Liverpool. And then he actually got the 8 slowing down. That was an amazing round. He deserved that.
And just, as you say, on that turn, just never had to slow down, never had to take a pull at that. It just came so smoothly out of it.
Yeah, right out of stride. And that's a huge win, exciting for Evergate Stables and for Niall and Jen and Chris Howard and everyone involved in that group. So congratulations.
And so coming up for the presentations here, and we are all set to go, and it is going to be the Leading Lady Rider Award first up, which I say is going to be Caroline Mawini from that point of view, and then heading into our top 3 for tonight's class as well. Sit alongside me, fantastic. Thank you very, very much for all your input tonight. Fun class to watch.
Yeah, that was awesome. What a great start to season, and a super fun class for us and the spectators to start the season off.
Great start down there. Caroline Mawini just receiving her awards as part of the Leading Lady Rider Award in memory of Dale Lawler, presented by Martha Wachtel Jolicoeur. Thanks to her as well, as she continues to present that throughout, and Dr. Stephen Norton presenting that award. Win for Northstar, McLean Ward in second with High Star Hero. What do we think of McLean and High Star Hero with that? I was excited about the horse last year with Tyzer in the saddle. Now McLean in the saddle as well. It's going to be an interesting one for the US.
Anything McLean rides is exciting, to be honest with you. So I think looking forward to the rest of the season and the rest of their future together. I'm sure he has some big goals and high hopes in mind, and he will reach them.
He will. And here's our top three, Mark Blumen and Conor PS. Our top three, even top five, predicted by you a little bit earlier on. Yeah, she's got a big smile on her face. Thank you very much from that point of view. And Mark Blumen will take third with Conor PS. There we see McLean Ward already in our top three there as they ready for presentation. And there with the cooler on is ESI Ali and Niall Nassar. Very well done to them. Little smiles all round.
Nice to see, actually, after a horse like that can go so fast and be so competitive and then come into the ring and look
chilled.
So chill and relaxed. It's a testament to the horse's personality, and
yeah.
He obviously knows he's good. He doesn't have to, no sweat to him, and he's just staying super relaxed, and that's a nice trait.
Presenting to our top three down there as well, and horses also getting the wonderful goodies as well from mainstream. There's McLean Ward coming forward in second.